This is a crafting table. Diamond armor, full set.
Who are these guys?
Oh, these dudes? They're the villagers!
Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
Chicken jockey!
And Steve.
You heard it up top. We're about to take a trip to the nether with a bunch of certified Minecrafters. That's right, because we're about to talk a Minecraft movie with your hosts, Colin the Garbage Man.
I am Steve.
And I am Chicken Jakey.
Wow.
Chicken Jakey. Oh man. It's a Minecraft movie. We yearn for it, and now we have it.
Children yearn for minds.
Children yearn for the movies.
Absolutely. The next big tie-in video game feature film, following the footsteps of Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog 3. We got another
cinema
one.
experience of the year 2025, a Minecraft movie. Listen, I just want to start off by saying, did you guys know this movie has the biggest opening weekend of a video game movie? It beat the Mario movie. It beat all the Sonics. Did you know that?
No, and I don't like to hear that. But
I thought, didn't Sonic 3 do really well? Really? It beat Sonic 3 as well?
It did well, but I mean, this was a huge hit, like bigger than they were expecting. It was like 150 million domestically opening weekend. It's the biggest opening weekend. It's it took Sonic 3, I think, like a month to reach 150 million. So
this could make $1 billion, conceivably.
Yeah, it's bigger than, I mean, it had a bigger opening
was.
weekend than the Mario movie. So if it continues on that pace, I mean, it's the biggest movie of 2025 so far, and the biggest video game adaptation of all time.
And what better, for
it's
so cooked.
Best-selling video game of all time, Minecraft. It makes a lot of sense.
It is the best-selling game of all time. Fair.
And we're only 4 months into this, right? Otherwise, like, the biggest movie was like Captain America, which didn't do that good, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we still got a lot of. I mean, we've got Fantastic Four, we've got Superman, we've got Thunderbolts. So there's some other movies coming out that could make big box office. But so far, and this was a surprise hit. It basically did double what they were expecting for the opening weekend. So, the children yearn for the mines, for sure.
They yearn for the mines indeed. And actually, we talked about Minecraft, the game, 5 years ago on March 10th, which is traditionally Mario Day, MAR10. And we put Minecraft above him there, and now Minecraft is above Mario once again.
In our our first March Madness, when we were
it was a March Madness
episodes, and I picked Minecraft.
Oh, there's a chance. It's been 5 years. Let's do a quick refresher on our personal histories before we jump in to talk about our viewing of this incredible film. But Jacob, why don't you kick it off? Because you are a big fan of Minecraft.
As you can see from my sticker, I am a certified Minecrafter. So
they don't hand those out lightly. I know that.
No,
hard to come by.
No. It's me and Steve, but Minecraft is a big game for me in my life. I have a lot of fond memories. I've played many hours of Minecraft. I got very into modded Minecraft, as I said in past episodes, of course. Very into modded Minecraft. Maybe my single most played game of all time in terms of hours put into it. If you over all the different versions I played, the different modded things and everything. So yeah, I would say I'm a pretty big fan of Minecraft. I haven't played it in a while, I will say that. But the way it's influenced, I mean, there's been so many mining and crafting type games that have come out of, since Minecraft that I have played. Games like Valheim or Satisfactory, which I've gotten very into in the past as well. So, Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah, I know it's a big genre that you're a fan of, and you suggested it for March Madness. That was kind of my first exposure to anything Minecraft. I'd never played it, but since then, some of our other friend of the show, Adam, he was also a Minecrafter, and we did like a little event where we hung out in a server. We were all building little houses along the lake, and that was my first time building my first house, and it was fun.
That's right. Well, he was hosting a server for a while that, Colin will speak to this as well, but Colin and I played on it for a good amount of time where we were playing pretty regularly, building things. And then Adam, he did have sort of a a virtual bachelor's party in Minecraft.
That's
Mhm.
right.
And that was your first experience in Minecraft.
I
Yeah.
forgot
But I
that.
liked building my little house with its giant window to overlook the sunset of the ocean. I was like, this is kind of chill.
Yes.
I like this. Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Yes.
always enjoyed the social aspect of it. Yes, I was on that server, and Jake and I would pretty much, there was a point play, if not weekly, sometimes daily, on
Yeah,
that server with the rest of those people and really contribute to a little society, right?
that's right. And I like to think of myself as a Minecraft expert, so I would do these
Yes.
expert builds, and then I would show them off to people and say, "Isn't this cool? What I made? I made a chicken lava machine. Um,
Right, right. No, I remember
I
you
actually did
giving us
a
tours.
cow. I made a steak
Of course,
machine
of
that
course.
makes steaks out of cows. Yeah,
Okay. And yeah, and so I actually think we're going to be leaning into your expertise as we kind of dissect this movie later, like how much of it's
I have
accurate,
so
you
much
know.
to say. So
I
much to
know.
say about Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, but so as a big Minecraft fan, what were your feelings when you saw this announced? It's been announced for like 10 years, but when you saw the trailer, were you excited going into this?
Okay, yeah. So this is interesting because I thought the trailers and everything coming out previous to the movie, I thought it made this movie look like dog shit. Like I was not excited at all. I had no expectations. I was like, this is garbage. Like, why are they doing this to my beloved Minecraft?
Yeah.
So I was really
Dave
not
shit. What's the dog's name in this?
Dennis
Dennis.
shit.
Dennis is
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like it just did not look good to me at all. And the trailers really highlighted obviously the meme aspects of it, the Jack Black lines, which we're going to talk all about. I am Steve and all that. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is just doesn't look very good to me. It looks like hot garbage. So I had no expectations going in. And then I'll say, I'm not going to give my full opinion, but up top, I'll say, like, I went in and it is like in some ways hot garbage, but also it's better than I expected. And I had a lot of fun and I kind of love it, even though I don't think
Wow.
it's a very good movie. I had a blast watching it. And as someone who loves Minecraft, there's so much references, inside jokes, Easter eggs to the game of Minecraft. I was surprised by how faithful, excuse me,
Yeah.
faithful it is to the game. And so I was kind of blown away by that aspect of it. I did not think the trailers did a very good job of advertising those aspects to me. So I was very much pleasantly surprised at my experience watching it.
Okay, yeah, I guess that they did their homework, and you'll have to point that out because as someone who's less familiar, some of that stuff I'm sure flew way over my head. So I'll be looking forward to
Yeah.
hearing all that. I'm neutral. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like an abomination, but it's all right. But there are things I want to point out that didn't work, and whatever. It's
Yeah.
it's middle of the
As a
road for me.
movie, I think it's kind of a mess. It's kind of all over the place, which we'll talk about. But you guys love the Sonic movies.
Yeah,
That is kind of something that you really love. And I thought the Sonic movies, they're okay. I'm kind of neutral on them. This is sort of my Sonic movie, I think.
fair.
Because I
Okay.
absolutely loved it, even though it is, has problems, obviously.
Right, right.
I hate to be in that sort of indefensible position like when we did our Beetlejuice episode and we were
Oh,
so
no.
antagonistic against each other, not liking things. So Jacob, going into this too, as a fan, I was like, well, it'll be fun to just dunk on this thing. But I gotta say, guys, I was pretty charmed by this movie at points in ways that
Yeah,
I really was not expected to be. So this might not be a straight pan. I don't know.
Wow,
it was
interesting. Yeah.
surprising. I mean, I think it starts with, the director. It's directed by Jared Hess, who did Napoleon Dynamite, did Nacho Libre.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more of his like Napoleon Dynamite charm in this movie than I was expecting, especially in the beginning. So that kind of really threw me off. I was like, the beginning of this movie, I was like so in. I was like, I love this.
Oh yeah.
And then it doesn't keep that energy so much once they get into Minecraft, but it was. I mean, I'm excited to just jump in and talk about it. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Let's use the Earth Crystal. Let's go through the portal and get into the overworld right after this.
Flint and Steel. We're back here on Normies Like Us, where we are talking a Minecraft movie again. A
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft movie.
A Minecraft movie. So there could be other Minecraft movies. This is
If
just
the
one
sequel's
story.
not called another Minecraft movie, I'll be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another one. But
So
yeah,
like I said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, I just want to ask you guys kind of about the theater going experience we each had for this, because obviously on the internet it's going around that there's a lot of chaos, in some
Yes.
cases.
I think it depends when you go and where, maybe, because I mean,
Right.
I'll say for me, my experience was not too crazy. I mean, I went a little later at night, a Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Theater was maybe 75% full, but when I was buying tickets on Saturday, I was looking at earlier times and they were absolutely booked up. So I was like,
Okay.
let me go later at night when there's like less of an audience, less of a kid audience, maybe. So I've definitely seen the TikToks and things of people going crazy at the meme lines and stuff. That did not necessarily happen in my screening, but I can believe that it's happening in other screenings.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of people whipping popcorn around, screaming at the top of their lungs when chicken jockey happens. Like
It's a
there's
little over the top, maybe.
it's a little over the top, and it's like the evolution of the gentle minion thing, where it's like the point is to cause chaos. So I'm curious if you guys encountered that. So Colin, how was your experience?
No, I also didn't get any of that. I went to our local art theater in downtown Cincinnati, which very strangely had like a couple films that I just didn't even know were out, and then like 7 showings of a Minecraft movie. So I went to one of the afternoon ones, and it was
Yeah.
pretty sparsely attended.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm glad that you didn't encounter chaos because you saw those videos, and I went to the Alamo, of course, because that's the only place I go. And this is the first time there have been children at the Alamo. I guess I don't watch a lot of
Oh
movies
wow.
made for children, but I will say, very well behaved. Not a single peep, not even a
Oh
giggle
Yeah.
to
good.
the jokes. Like either they took this very
Uh,
seriously as an academic, I'm viewing the Minecraft movie, but they were very, very well behaved, the kids in the theater. So well
I think
done.
maybe some of those meme TikToks are, isolated things, but like in mine, people were clapping at certain lines like "I am Steve" and "Chicken Jockey."
Okay.
Like the
Yeah.
people sort of. I had some half-hearted claps, but not people going crazy like you've seen in the TikToks. I think the
Right.
throwing the popcorn, that kind of stuff, it's inconsiderate to the people working there. Please
Yeah.
don't do that.
I
Like
I
that's
agree,
Did,
and
yeah,
that's why I wanted to bring this up because we've mentioned that like sometimes you get a bad theater and people don't know how to behave, and I was like, oh no, is this going to create a
yes.
trend where people are planning to ruin the movie for everybody? Is that going to
yeah.
Did you,
become
can
more
I ask
regular?
though? Did you guys ever participate in one of those? I think the earliest one, as far as like internet trends went, because it was super early for like internet culture, was I was a Snakes on the Plane guy, and
Mm.
we went wild in that theater. Let me tell you, dog.
Oh man,
Well, there was
I have not done one of those, but go ahead.
screenings of The Room where people
Sure. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
crazy at certain, they throw forks at the screen at a certain part or
Yeah.
whatever.
But it's
It's become
encouraged.
a
They
That's the
do.
meme. Yeah.
purpose.
They
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
rowdy cats now. You go to a cat screening and
Oh
you're supposed to
sure.
be like
Show me
wild
the
and let
buttholes.
loose.
Where are the
Show me
cat
those
buttholes?
Well, maybe this will
uh,
go have rounds where it has
Maybe
the
it
meme
will.
craft screening. Like people
yeah.
could just go and
The
go crazy.
meme crap. Well, here's what I want
Well,
to
I
say,
saw.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just real quick on our viewings of it. I would like to point out I have seen this film twice now. I
Whoa.
I saw it on Saturday. I went and saw it at theaters, and then I don't know if you guys know about this, but this thing popped up on the internet where they said a full
Oh, the
leak of the
work print.
film without visual
The
effects, a
unfinished
work
work
print.
print is available.
So I caught a little pirate ship and caught a viewing of that, which I don't feel bad about because I did pay to see this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But something we've kind of mentioned before offhandedly, the Wolverine X-Men Origins work print, which is
Yes.
kind of the most famous one before. That's the only time I've ever seen a movie like that way. So I was very curious to check it out.
I've
Huh.
seen clips from this work print online, and it is very funny to me because like all of the obviously visual effects of Minecraft are sort of half done. So it looks like you're in a very low res Minecraft world. It's just Jack Black like interacting with like pigs that are like not fully rendered.
Anytime he
They got a
tries
bad
to
graphics
touch
card.
Yeah.
they did not turn it on, Mike. Anytime he goes to try to touch Dennis, his hands turn into clip art. Like
Mm,
it will like green screen his arms away, basically.
Whoa.
Very
that's
crazy.
funny. Yeah.
That's like the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They had the no special effects cut that
Yes.
I watched. So we get one for Minecraft too. Fantastic. Because it is cinema.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding?
Yeah. And
Pure.
I was just
Pure.
gonna say on
Yeah.
the meme
Yeah.
reactions and things, I did see Mr. Beast did a TikTok about it, and so anytime Mr. Beast talks about it, it's kind of like the joke's dead by that point because
Mm.
once it's reached Mr. Beast, I think the joke is over. So
And is
no
he
offense.
in this movie, Jacob? Because I know
No.
some players of this game, famous
Yes.
lovers,
Mr. Beast's not really a Minecrafter, but
okay.
there is some. Yeah, I will talk about the references
Right.
to real life Minecrafters and things like that. But yeah, the meme worthiness of it. How much did that contribute to the box office?
Right.
And this is sort of maybe the first what they're calling the brain rot movie of Generation
Yeah.
Z, where it's like half ironic, half sincere, where they love this movie and they crack up at these jokes and things like that. This might be, this is going to be a big Gen Z movie, and I think that's why it's doing so well with the box office.
Wasn't that what Fozzie Bear was? Five Nights
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Fozzies.
Well, that's the third biggest video game movie adaptation of all time now. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
Okay.
similar thing there. But right now it's going to be probably Minecraft, Super Mario Brothers, Five Nights at Freddy's, Sonic 3 are the top 4 now.
It's blowing my mind, the dawn of the brain rot film. I think we've been on the edge of it with some of the Minions content, but like that as a genre, get ready. That's crazy. So yeah, half
Gen
the box
Z
office
who's
is
just
taking a piss.
Grown up on the internet with these brain rot memes. They've grown up with TikTok. They've grown up just viewing everything through a sort of ironic lens.
And that is what brain rot means in this case.
Yeah. This movie is like the equivalent of those TikToks where it's like half the screen is someone talking and then the other half of the screen is someone like playing a video game.
Temple Runner or whatever.
Yeah,
What?
Temple Runner.
You never seen those?
Yeah.
Your brain must be intact then.
It's just Gen Z has such a short attention span being raised with this stuff that like that's all they can focus on now. They have to have like 3 things going on screen at once.
So somewhere in Hollywood, as we speak, a Skibbity Toilet movie is being greenlit. There's no going back.
It's like Seth Rogen is pitching in the studio. He's pitching the
Kool-Aid
movie.
Well,
but yeah, we're getting
Mike. You very cleverly kind of called that out in our text chain, calling this the actual Kool-Aid adaptation. I think that was pretty apt and spot on, dog.
Yeah, shout out to the studio, new show we've been watching.
I mean, it's video game movies have never been more successful. They figure out how to make them successful, and possibly the era of the superhero movie is over. That was, the 2008 to 2018 or whatever. Now it's the era of the video game adaptation where all these movies, like this movie's blowing Captain America: Brave New World out of the water in terms of box office. So obviously they're still going to make superhero movies, but for a long time, the general consensus was video game movies don't make money because they don't know how to make them good. We've gotten so many now: Sonic, Mario, Five Nights at Freddy's. We have Last of Us on TV. We have Fallout on TV. These are all doing very well. So it's the era of the video game movie.
All of those.
As a movie?
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah.
But did I love it? Yes.
Okay, well, because I think that's a good point, Jacob, because they have cracked the code, and the code was never difficult to decipher. They were just being idiots. The code seems to be put things from the actual game in the property, put references, put Easter eggs, put stuff that fans of the game know in it. And it took them so long to get that right. And even with Mario, a thin plot, but it has stuff from the game. So they're getting it.
I think with this movie, I just want to say, like, I think they underestimated, I underestimated how popular Minecraft still is, because I think of Minecraft, it's a game that came out in 2010. It's a game that I feel like peaked in popularity from like 2010 to 2016. That's when I sort of played it the most, when I was younger. So I think of it more as that generation of game. Turns out kids today still fucking love Minecraft, and still a huge, huge IP that I totally underestimated.
It was made by a Nazi, Jacob. Is that right?
It was made by a guy named Notch who has been sort of he's sort of a far right guy. He had some sort of far right opinions that obviously he sold the game to Microsoft for like $2 billion. He's been sort of has nothing to do with the game anymore. They've sort of been like, all right, we're gonna sort of exclude
Distance
you
ourselves from you.
Yeah, distance ourselves, which is, I think the right thing to do. But it's still a huge hit, and it's still going on today with Microsoft releasing new updates and stuff, which blows my mind because I sort of feel like I outgrew it, so I feel like the world did, but turns out no, they're still making new kids that love Minecraft to this day. They love creepers, they love diamond pickaxes, all that stuff.
Diamond armor full set.
Just Mike, take that off. You don't need to be wearing it, right?
Sorry, my brain's rotted.
Just before we keep going in, and just because you're like my youth consultant, you are 1 year younger than us, Jacob. And for some reason, I'm always constantly like, just like, tell me what's going on in the world. Before we move on to the rest of this movie, just real quick. And what is Roblox? That is you craft and do things in
Roblox
that, like
is kind of like Minecraft. Yeah, it's kind of like a Lego game in that it's sort of an off-brand Lego video game. I've never played Roblox, but it's more popular even with a younger audience than maybe even Minecraft. That's sort of outside my realm, but definitely young kids definitely like it.
Does it have a narrative? And when you, as a fan of this property, were first like, oh, they're going to make a Minecraft movie, were you in your mind like, what is the narrative of Minecraft?
Very much so, because Minecraft does not have a narrative. I don't think Roblox has a narrative either. It's just a sandbox. But Minecraft, that's always been my problem with the Minecraft movie, thinking, how are they going to make this? It has no story. It has no plot. Obviously, they've done this before. I mean, there's the Lego movie, there's the Barbie movie, both IPs without an actual plot or story or narrative.
Plots. No. We all know that that's how you're supposed to interpret those things you play with.
Yeah.
Barbie has always had an existential crisis happening.
Barbie's always had to go to the gynecologist at the end of your playtime with her.
Exactly.
But those are both good examples of like how to do something right, where it's like you have to make a narrative for it. And I think Lego movie was the obvious template of like, okay, Minecraft is like virtual Legos. Obviously, they can try to ape the Lego movie. I don't think this really does that. Instead, it has a very basic getting sucked into the game world plot.
It's Jumanji.
That's what I was going to say. Like it's very much Jumanji, even in that it has Jack Black.
Yes.
It has Jack Black in it. It has
Jumanji real quick. Clear that up.
Big muscular guy instead of The Rock. It has Jason Momoa. So yes, it is very Jumanji, and it's a very lazy plot, but it's like the most basic plot you can think of for a game like this. But it works, I think, for what this is.
It's very Kool-Aid Man hits the gritty again.
Yes.
To pull it back to Mike's metaphor.
But the surprising amount of references to very specific things in the game of Minecraft, I was like, okay, obviously the people that made this know a lot about Minecraft, have played Minecraft, are obviously fans of Minecraft. So from that angle, it does really work for me. It has a very bare bones plot, but the references, just naming things in Minecraft, like that's a lot of this movie.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
it really is. It is to those people who are like, all you said earlier. I'm sorry, off pod. I have to reference it now, but we have a friend who watches superhero films and doesn't know where to look. It is very much like if what people think of the worst of comic book movies, of people being like Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, just like standing there and naming things. Like truly, what you're saying, what you like is like, well, because Jack Black stands there and just goes, and this thing, and that thing, and this thing.
No, I was very consciously thinking like, would someone who's never played Minecraft understand anything in this movie?
No.
I don't know. But for me, I loved it because, it is sort of a love letter to Minecraft. And there's a lot of heart there, even though, like, again, the story's kind of all over the place. We can talk about the long development period of this movie, the fact that there's like 6 credited writers for the screenplay, which is maybe too many writers. Like, I don't think the screenplay needed 6 writers.
For a movie.
No.
Basic is the kind way to put it. Yeah.
Well, we'll dive into it.
But it does kind of feel like, it just kind of feels like it is cobbled together from different drafts over the years, or crafted together, if you will. like it does kind of feel all over the place where it's like obviously gone through a lot of revisions. At one time, of course, it was being developed by Rob McElhaney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, who was attached to direct for a long time. And it ends up with Jared Hess, the director of Napoleon Dynamite.
Totally normal.
Right.
Hold on. Let's get to all that. But Mike, we've been cutting you off. What have you been trying to say?
Sorry. Yeah, it's just I will be approaching the discussion of this in the way that Seth Rogen has too, because like he is a person who loves cinema. That's like in the studio. He's like, I want to make good movies, but then he has to make the Lego movie. So I can't help but reflect upon it's the biggest opening ever. Story so. What does it mean for cinema that this is doing well? So I'm gonna be coming from that vector.
If
I don't know
you
if it
guys
means
went
that much.
normal theaters, were there like popcorn buckets and stuff? I would assume, and all that.
I saw a
shit?
pickaxe one that they would scoop it into the popcorn and pull it out.
That's
Not at
pretty
the
tight,
Alamo,
Mike.
but it was on the internet. Yeah, it looked kind of
What
cool.
was the cocktail?
Oh, they didn't have Minecraft cocktails. It was a kids movie. They didn't adjust the
They
menu
should have
at
like
all.
a creeper cocktail. It's like a green
What was-
cocktail.
Yeah, they
what
should
was
have.
the menu?
No Minecraft menu.
Ah.
That
I
what?
bet if you go to
I was
like an
kinda
AMC or
disappointed.
something, they probably had something. I hope they had some kind of popcorn bucket that looks like you could stick your dick in it or something.
Yeah. But
No, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of merchandise tie-in. I know there's a McDonald's meal
oh yeah, that was part
for
of
the
the memes
Minecraft
too.
movie. Yeah, so we're gonna have to try that.
Your McDonald's in this movie? I don't think there is, right?
No, but there's like a McDonald's tie-in Minecraft meal going on
Yeah.
right now.
No, there's been videos of people ritually like going there, getting like 6 of them as adults and like holding
course.
hands and like.
It is. The Gentle Minions does bug me, Mike. I'm very glad that I never had to get bullied by a bunch of teenagers in well-dressed tuxedos.
Yeah, that's so we've been
But
on
what
the
does this
cusp.
say about like cinema at large? I don't know, because I mean, to me, it's the same as the Sonic movies. Like, obviously, they're kids' movies. They're always going to make movies like this. I just think it's a really big IP, so they're cashing in on that. But they'll still make real movies, I hope.
No, and I guess I should preface everything I'm going to say with this movie was not made for me.
No,
I think it was.
100% was not. Well, it wasn't, but
Yeah. But let's talk about Jared Hess, the director, Napoleon Dynamite. What's your guys' history with Napoleon Dynamite?
I've never seen that movie. I was one of those weird contrarian kids who, because everybody talked about it, I was like, I'm not going to see it. And since then, I still just never have.
Okay.
I saw it. I liked it a lot. I watched it a lot. And that's the first moment of my life when I realized that there could be such a thing as oversaturation of quoting. Because at a certain point, everybody was quoting it. I'm like, guys, can we stop? It's making me not like the movie. Like,
vote for Pedro.
Stop talking about the tots.
Tina. I've never seen it, and Mike, the tots, I can probably quote it just as much as you guys, and I've never seen it. That's how oversaturated.
It was really a phenomenon, and it's kind of crazy because it was like this little small budget independent film that became this huge phenomenon. People loved, like kids especially, loved, quoting it, memeing it. It was memes before memes were memes, right?
It was.
Viral before virality.
Yeah, vote for Pedro t-shirts. I mean, it was a huge hit, and no one expected that. Again, it was an independent movie, very small budget. But Jared Hess, he has this particular style, this particular charm. And when I tell you, Colin, you haven't seen it, but the opening like 20, 30 minutes of this movie are very Napoleon Dynamite. Like all the small town Idaho stuff.
I love it. 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm really into this because it does have that same charm that Napoleon Dynamite had.
I will tell you, the first like 20 minutes of this, I wasn't expecting to be sucked in as much as I was, and like for me, we'll talk about the Minecraft stuff because I don't understand all the references, but I was like, I want to stay in the real world, and so if you haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite, you get a whole movie of that you haven't seen yet. So I'm excited for you to check it out.
No, that small town Idaho stuff, I was like, I could watch a whole movie based on this. When the kid goes to school, there's like all kind of wacky hijinks in the school.
Mr. Gamby,
the potato factory.
Here's the thing. I'm the art teacher and the coach. You guys know what that means. It means my life is a wreck, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And he said all that stuff. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and that felt so Napoleon Dynamite. just the clothes people were wearing.
Yes.
Obviously there's some like direct references, like they reference tater tots and llamas, both which are like big parts of Napoleon Dynamite. So I'm like, that can't be a coincidence. Like,
that's fascinating.
Jared just has an obsession with tater tots, I guess.
And the big thing you pointed out, Jacob, is he goes from that small indie production, Napoleon Dynamite, like we said, indie darling. It's maybe up for a Sundance Prize of some kind. I can't remember, maybe an audience award or something, and makes so much money. His next film he gets signed on to gets the biggest star in the world to sign in for it, Nacho Libre, and it's this guy named Jack Black. So this is a strange reunion for these two after all these years as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that led to why Jack Black signed on to this movie or something. But Nacho Libre, never a film I was really a fan of. I just don't understand it. I don't get really the humor of it as much as Napoleon Dynamite.
Sure, I'm again never seen it.
Yeah,
The Orphan's Cheaps. It's good. I like Nacho Libre. It's fun.
Can I?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Can I, as a guy who hasn't seen the major hits, I've maybe seen one called like the Denver Broncos or something like that, a Jared Hess movie, or the Magnificent Bronco or something like that. I've maybe seen a Sam Rockwell film, maybe.
I'm gonna take a look.
Gentlemen Broncos.
Sure, there we go.
Yeah.
But as an outsider of his style, can I kind of tell you that what I view it as is Mormon Wes Anderson? Like he does the kitschy, strange DIY framing, and also maybe kind of like a Michel Gondry's American work, like a Please Be Kind, Rewind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely I can see that.
Wait.
Napoleon Dynamite did debut at Sundance. It made $46 million on a budget of 400,000. So
I'm shocked it's even that much. 400,000 seems like a ton. A BYU grad, like truly, it's him and his wife. They were a Mormon couple who seem to still be part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Just a very, very interesting couple.
Yeah, he's very interested in like small town middle America. So that's why we have Chugalug, Idaho, or whatever the city is called.
Yeah. Chagula or something. Yeah. But that stuff I like his style with this movie. I like the small town. I like the potato chip factory. Just so strange.
The gamer tie-in, like we'll talk about Jason Momoa in a little bit, but the other characters, a little girl, like truly what I imagine is like a 12 or 13-year-old girl telling us that she has an adult job and that she's a guardian.
Well, she's like 23 in real life.
She's from
Emma
Wednesday,
Myers,
right?
From our favorite werewolf.
She's
from
our
Wednesday.
beloved little.
Yes.
What was her name in that?
Enid.
Enid.
That's a great memory. Enid.
She's the yin to Wednesday's yang. She's very bright and colorful and cheerful versus Wednesday. But she turns into a werewolf. That's sort of the ironic part of it.
But in this movie,
that she's a social media manager for a chip company, and then our other lead character is a realtor who secretly wants to run a petting zoo. Seemed again so Jared Hess coded, very weird.
Daniel Brooks from Peacemaker.
That's right,
and other things. And I love this the sort of commentary on just like trying to get by, and capitalism, that kind of thing, where she's like having to run these side hustles of like having a mobile petting zoo on her car kind of thing, and she has to do real estate because she's just trying to make ends meet. She's got to do these side hustles. And Emma Myers has to take this social media job at the potato chip factory in small town Idaho. It's like people just trying to get by, or even the art teacher going on this whole tangent about how his life is terrible because of his financial situation.
I have financial debt.
I get it. I guess it is hard to be a realtor in a small town when nobody can afford houses.
Yeah.
You're not getting a lot of closing deals. But and then to have, I thought it was pretty wild though to have like, oh yes, this girl is the legal guardian of her younger brother. Like they have no parents. I was like, that's pretty strong.
Yeah. They have like a backstory where their mom died. So they're basically orphans.
I took what she said. I interpreted what she said as I need to be your guardian is what we hear at one point. And you're kind of left with that and you're like, what? What's the story here? You poison your mom? What is this?
Right.
She's in her early 20s. She looks younger than that, obviously, but she is, I believe, 23, the actor. So, but she's got to raise her younger brother, who's sort of socially awkward, kind of an outcast at school.
Yeah, here's where I want to put my big lens over what I just kind of think about Minecraft in general and this boy. This is not me being mean. I 100% promise. I think this is what I honestly think about this, and I promise this is a real thought. Minecraft in general, I think, should be used as some sort of spectrum test. Like how far you are on the spectrum is basically like your level of enjoyment for Minecraft. I say that as someone who enjoys Minecraft very much, I would like to point out. And I think that obviously this movie, it's very easy to kind of always use that lens of like, well, is this like a movie about like autism or like maybe being on the spectrum? But I think this kid who feels very socially weird, but has all these big ideas and has trouble expressing himself to people, this is a very autism coded movie and finding an outlet to create. And I found that to be very cool too.
There's a lot of creativity, a lot of big ideas inside his head. I think, he is neurodivergent coded. And I think that's always been a thing with Minecraft where, people on the spectrum, neurodivergent people, and I say this as someone who's neurodivergent, so I can say this.
I think an expert could look at the box office that this movie made and truly pinpoint things about people's, again, neurodivergency, which would be very interesting.
Well, maybe it is the vaccines causing more and more kids to.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Damn orb-shaped vaccines, these square-shaped vaccines.
Square orbs. They're turning the orbs square.
He's spectrum coded, whatever you want to say, but he has a lot of big ideas, creativity inside of him. He's sketching. He wants to make a jetpack. He has all these, he's very smart, obviously.
He doesn't understand what anybody's saying to him because the kids are like, "You can't do that," and he's like, "I actually can do that," and he just, you know what I mean? Like he's of value.
No, the commentary on the death of intellectualization too, like when his classmates don't care that he has these ideas, and one of them even says, "My dad told me math's been debunked," and I'm like, "Oh my god,
math's been debunked." That was a really funny line.
When he cuts to them actually testing the jetpack, and the teachers cheering him on also, and then it goes wrong, and he's like,
"I was never here.
I wasn't here."
Never here."
Yeah.
That stuff works so well, actually. The real world stuff.
I loved all that stuff. Yeah, and the cast, I'm. Look, again, the trailers did not do a good job advertising what this movie really is to me because they kind of just drop these characters into Minecraft. You don't get this whole backstory. And I actually really liked the whole cast. I thought they kind of gelled together well. We'll talk about, Jason Momoa, obviously, Daniel Brooks, Emma Myers, whatever this kid's name is.
Henry.
Henry.
The actor, though, I'll look it up.
Sure, it doesn't matter, Mike.
I don't.
It matters to him.
He's young enough that I don't know what else he's been in, but this might be his debut role. But yeah, let's talk about the Jason Momoa character. A very interesting backstory for this guy, right?
So the start of this movie is Jack Black's backstory and kind of this whole thing. We'll talk about that.
That's right.
But then it cuts to, you thought that was a backstory. Here's your actual main character. And I do want to point out, Jason Momoa is top billed for this film. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, the second production company that comes up out of 3 is a Momoa movie production. He's one of the top producers on this movie.
Yeah. I feel like him and Jack Black are kind of battling for like who's the actual main character.
They literally are doing it in the movie.
Yeah. Which is very funny, to be clear.
I do think they have kind of a good chemistry, which I was surprised about. Like, Jason Momoa obviously not necessarily known for comedy, although he's done comedic stuff sometimes, but more known, like obviously, he was in Game of Thrones. He was in, he's done a lot of action stuff. He was Aquaman.
Well, you say that. He played the clown prince of crime, the Joker, in a Fast and Furious.
That's right.
That's right. And so he definitely has this sense of humor where he's like, I want to show off my comedic side by starring in the Minecraft movie as a former arcade gamer champion from the 80s who's sort of washed up, living on those memories of the 80s, who owns a failing video game store in small town Idaho. What do you guys think of this character?
Here's the other thing, because Mike, I wonder if you kind of loved this little fact. It's that, they're kind of doing the send up to like the Billy, what's that guy's name?
King of Kong,
the donkey,
Billy Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell. Thank you. The competitive playing asshole, but that is a game, King Kong, with a score based thing. Or even Street Fighter, which is competitive. Obviously, there were famous video game players. This is like a weird side-scrolling beat-em-up akin to Final Fight that he plays. You couldn't be the world. It's just how you just beat the game. There's no points or anything.
I thought it was interesting that in the I guess maybe how speed running, how fast you complete it or something, but in this Minecraft movie, it focuses so much on this retro arcade gaming of this one character that's a totally different kind of gaming than Minecraft.
Yes, and where he gets the name the Garbage Man because he's so good at throwing fake characters into a garbage can.
Right, yeah. And here's the one thing, too. It's a 2-player game, and he's defeating 2-player teams by himself.
Right.
Which I thought was pretty kind of interesting.
That's pretty good, Mike, actually. I like that.
Yeah, they show close with his hand doing the joystick and the buttons with each one at a time. That's
right. His whole character is this 80s, still living in the 80s guy who's trying to make ends meet. His store is like going bankrupt. He's getting evicted. He goes to storage auctions to try to get some rare games or something in a storage unit. He drives like this Camaro or something. His style is very 80s, right?
Yeah.
This is, can I just real quick say this is where a quick cameo, Jermaine Clement, one of the
who's worked guys with Jared Hess a lot in the past.
He starred in that weird Gentleman's Broncos thing that I think I saw, but have kind of a very interesting style. He guest stars or cameos, I guess, as the guy selling him the locker. I looked it up today on Wikipedia. Brett McKenzie, the other Flight of the Conchord guy, plays the villager. He's the stand-in on camera for the weird villager that has the subplot in it.
Wow.
Well, and then we'll talk about I don't know if you saw the end credits scene with the villager.
I did.
Matt Berry surprise cameo. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just have that be Brett's voice then? That's just for a guy who won an Academy Award. He did the Muppet score and then disappeared. And meanwhile, Jermaine Clements kind of had a good acting career. It's very strange. It's like Key and Peele.
Yeah.
And then we can also mention Jennifer Coolidge has a supporting role as the principal of the school. She has a whole subplot with a villager, a romance subplot.
The oversharing of the adults in this of and then I got divorced 5 years ago with my husband and this and that.
And the reveal at the end of the movie that the teacher we love is the ex-husband. Your chance,
Clemente.
That's why he's in financial despair.
Yes.
He's so good.
And very small
town
it all feels accurate.
It feels so Napoleon Dynamite, all this small town stuff.
I will say though, this plot beat of eviction next week, can we get the farm back? Can we save grandma's house? This is getting into the paint by numbers of the plot, that this is a very basic story. It's the shortest path of resistance, the old eviction notice, standby, the classic.
Mike, I wish Jason Momoa would have said, hey, not an Atari Cosmos. I'm looking for, do you guys have a haunted Jumanji video game that will suck me into the game?
They should have put a Jumanji cartridge in the background.
Oh!
It's very Jumanji. Let's back up a little bit and talk about Jack Black.
Yeah, that whole intro.
The first scene of this movie, introducing Jack Black as Steve. Now, Steve, of course, is the player character in Minecraft. His name is Steve. He doesn't have any kind of backstory in the game of Minecraft.
He wears a blue shirt.
Like Jack Black. He wears a blue shirt, a turquoise shirt.
Does he have a hobo's beard?
So this is the thing. So they cast Jack Black as Steve. I was very confused by this. Steve does not look like Jack Black. He's not like a big fat guy with a crazy beard and hairstyle. He's just a normal guy, right? Jack Black here is playing Steve, and it's almost like they didn't. I don't know if Jack Black had a different role to start, but it's like Jack Black did not change his normal look at all for this movie. Like this is what Jack Black looks like now. If you saw him on the street, this is what he looks like, and
right.
he's just playing Jack Black in this movie. He's not playing Steve. Like there is no character Steve. Yeah.
Worth pointing out.
Yes,
so what I
our
read,
friend Cole was telling me last night about his sighting of Jack Black in Los Angeles.
Yes, he lives very close there. So it's worth pointing out, I read today he is one of the only people who has survived this 11 years of development. In the prior team, when it was Sean Levy, your favorite director, Jacob, of Deadpool and fame,
yeah, thank God.
Cast Jack Black as a pig.
Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. He was originally going to voice a character, which, if you notice, if you look in Jack Black's filmography, he's not done a lot of live action roles recently. He's done, Kung Fu Panda. He's done Mario, Bowser, right? Voiceover roles. He's done Borderlands, a voiceover role.
The video games. But Jumanji is a live action franchise. He did do two Jumanjis, Jacob.
Right.
Where he plays a little girl in both those movies.
And I've never seen either.
So when he got cast as Steve, he's like, okay, I'm not going to change my appearance at all. I'm going to just play Jack Black. I'm going to do all my Jack Black isms with every line reading. And that's what he does, but it kind of works because, I will say, if you don't like Jack Black's whole thing, this is not the movie for you, right?
Well, so what did we talk about last week?
Back to back, black to black, Jack to Jack.
That's right.
King
Black
Kong.
Black movies in
Skull Island to back.
But that's Jack Black playing a character.
It is. Here's my thing. In that episode, I said I don't like Jack Black's whole thing. I've never gelled with the guy. This is definitely not the movie for that case. The moments that do not work for me in this film are when suddenly it becomes Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like literally Jack Black playing himself. There's like 4 musical numbers of Jack Black.
Not a fan of
riffing. Those. Yeah.
Just like the opening that you're talking about, Jacob, is he's like, I was a kid. I wanted to work in the mines. They told me I couldn't because I'm a kid. And they literally make the children yearn for the mines joke.
Of course.
I yearn for the mines. And they're like, and my job, of course, was real estate development, which I'll explain by the song that I used to perform in my pitch meetings. And you're like, no, Jack Black. You can't just be Jack Black in this. Like Steve can't just be Jack Black.
But see, this was always my problem with Minecraft. Like, how are they going to make a movie about Steve? Steve has no character. He has no personality. He's just the player character in Minecraft that has a name that's Steve. Like, there's no character to him.
But this is one of those Ace Ventura level things, Jacob, where I'm like, but what was the script without Jack Black? Because I would just assume every page is them saying, and then Jack Black does his thing. Yeah. Oh, are you going to feed us food at one point? How do you make that? Oh, well, you use lava to make chicken. What? Lava chicken. Chicken with the lava. Steve's lava chicken.
But again, with the chicken lava stuff, and we'll get into this, but that's a very specific reference to something you can do in Minecraft. So it's like a mixture of like references to Minecraft, but also Jack Black just being Jack Black. And that's like 80% of this movie. But yeah, so the first 5 minutes of this movie are the most perfunctory, like telling of Jack Black's story, how he gets into Minecraft. And we should be clear, like the Minecraft world in this movie is not a video game. It's another realm or another world where you can do everything that you can do in Minecraft. It's not specifically, he's not getting sucked into a video game Jumanji style. He's getting sucked into
an isekai.
That dimension has it is Mike. He gets hit by a car. And then that dimension has a dimension beneath it, is what he says. That's how he describes the nether.
The nether, which is basically hell. The hell of the over. So the overworld is the Minecraft world, what it's called in Minecraft. And the nether is sort of the hell realm. And then there's the end, this is kind of interesting. They didn't really even talk about the end, which is another dimension where you fight the Ender Dragon, which is the final boss of Minecraft. not mentioned at all in this movie, which is surprising. Yeah,
I was expecting an Ender Dragon with the little I know, but at the post
they did talk about
credit
Endermen.
scene,
Yeah,
exactly. But this scene is critical because so many parents probably have no idea how Minecraft works. So he has to get in, and you could build anything. I started building a house, and then another house, and then a bigger
Yeah.
house.
And
You
when he
have
made
to explain how Minecraft works.
Steve's Magic World or whatever, like that to me was very relatable because that's, of course, I've given many Minecraft tours to
Yes.
my friends in life where I made my crazy Minecraft world. And that's exactly what Minecraft is. Like if you distilled it into like one thing, it's like building whatever you want, making your own world in Minecraft. And that's exactly what Steve is doing. And he never wants to go back to the real world because he just loves mining and crafting. And that's kind of how I felt when I was really in the thick of playing Minecraft. I was like, if I could just live inside Minecraft, I could just be happy doing that. So that was all very relatable to me. What was not relatable is just Jack Black being Jack Black for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, the songs I could do without. That, even when the trailer, I am Steve. Like, there's a reason that's memed because it's like, what is Jack Black doing?
Yeah, but again, that's like saying like Sonic being like, I am Sonic.
Yeah,
you remember when Jack Black was like, I wish that bullet had hit Donald Trump, and then Tenacious D was like, we're done.
That was Kyle.
Actually, it was Kyle Gass said that, and then Jack
Black
basically
Jack Black was like,
him.
it's game over because of
said, look,
that?
I got to protect my Kung Fu Panda money, so I can't really associate with Kyle Gass anymore. So that's kind of a bummer.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood for you. You gotta protect that Kung Fu Panda money.
Yeah, absolutely. The Podo, as they call it.
Yeah, dude. Panda Express, you know how many tie-ins he has? No, there's not a chance.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer. Jack Black, I don't know. Jack Black, I'm not a huge Jack Black fan, but like I love School of Rock.
Tenacious D, okay, School Rock. So you guys said your couple that you did like, but you guys, Mike, you were a big fan when you were a younger man, right?
Yeah, I think School of Rock still holds up and is a fun movie. He was in Cable Guy in a very small cameo. That's the first time I ever saw him.
Tropic Thunder, he's like
I like him in Tropic Thunder.
He's like doing a stand-up of himself, kind of with the sort of exaggerated actor, the Clumps kind of role where he's playing all the fatties, right?
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
But when you see your Jack Black roles, Mike, do you want him just being Jack Black? Like, is that what you wanted out of Steve in this? I guess.
You know, not exactly. Like at least with School of Rock, he's doing Jack Black stuff, but he's still playing a character. He's as Dunham, he's still playing a character. A little bit of Jack Black isms get in there. But it can't just be unrestrained Jack Black at 110%. You got to dial him down.
It's like Jim Carrey. So think about Jim Carrey. If he was in the Sonic movie and he was just Jim Carrey, he did not change anything about himself as Dr. Robotnik. Didn't have the mustache.
I'm actually not going to do the mustache. I'm actually just going to wear what I just showed up in.
He actually, and it's like the best thing about those movies too, is Jim Carrey, because he's committed to the Robotnik character. He had a whole arc of little mustache, big mustache, getting fat. Like, he goes for it. But it's a character.
But I guess with Steve, because Steve as a character is such a blank slate, because he is he's not a character. He's just the player character that you play as. That Jack Black can just do that and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be Jack Black. I'm going to say every line exactly how Jack Black would say it from Tenacious D or something. And he has like 4 different songs where he's just like riffing. It's almost like they were trying to make another viral song like the Peaches Bowser thing.
Oh, you think it's like that, Jacob? That is what it is.
Yeah. But it's like Peaches, I don't even like that much. No. Like I didn't care for it, but it's like that sort of happened naturally. This is just like, okay, Jack Black, sing about something, and maybe this will become like a hit on TikTok, right?
Yeah, let me tell you again, Jacob. Mario movie, not a movie I like that much. But certainly my least favorite part is, again, the part where Jack Black's like, what if I was just Jack Black for like 5 minutes here? And I'm like, why are we slowing down movies for this?
Yeah. The only song I liked was the ending song where he was like rocking out with Jason Momoa and everyone was dancing, because I thought that was kind of fun. But the movie doesn't need to stop so Jack Black can sing a song about chicken and lava.
Let's move on the plot a little bit. So this is a movie about, he wants to be a miner, He goes to the mines. He decides he's going to leave the world behind. Clack, clack, clack. He finds two things, an orb and a earth crystal. He puts them together, opens this other dimension. There he finds Moblina. What the fuck is her name?
Malgosha.
Malgosha.
Malgosha, played by Rachel House, a great New Zealand actor. Another Taika Waititi regular. She plays Topaz in Thor Ragnarok, if you remember the
I don't know who
Jeffrey
Topaz is.
Goldblum or Jeff Goldblum's like assistant.
Oh, sure. I vaguely remember that.
She's the head of the Moblins, which are this sort of
Piglins,
like pig-like.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's the Zelda version.
Pretty
Which
much
coming
like,
soon. We're gonna get the Zelda movie.
Piglins, an actual mob
Yes.
of enemies
Well-
in this that exist in the Nether, and they want to
Yes.
destroy creativity. They want to attack Jack Black and take it away from him. He sends the crystal away, and they hold him captive. And he says, "Boy, I hope people come save me." And then like 20 years passes or something insane.
But he has his dog take it to the real world, and then through some convoluted things, it gets in the hands of Jason Momoa, and then they all get sucked in to Minecraft. But I will say,
So I'll be your uncle for money. Hey, sorry I had to call you. It's just my brother's missing, and you're a realtor. All right, we're all together. Let's go through the portal. Yeah.
Yeah.
To talk about Malgosha and the piglins and everything. Again, this is a weird mixture of specific references to things in Minecraft and also stuff made up for this movie.
Okay.
Like Malgosha, who does not exist in Minecraft. So she is made up for this movie to sort of maybe give a named villain to, the piglins are real and they will chase you around in the Nether and stuff, but they don't have a queen named Malgosha.
Do they have a
I also
big
like
one?
how they don't have like all the specifically named ones and stuff are all made up for this movie, but there is just generic piglins and there's other mobs and stuff. Like when they're talking about the Woodland Mansion and the Evokers and the Inquisitors and all that stuff, those are real Minecraft things.
Okay.
We'll get to
the
that.
town real?
Chicken jockeys. The town is real. That's a real like villager village.
When it's getting so granular, like actual plot woven into this is Malgosha constantly saying, "Remember to take your zombie potion because we wouldn't want you guys to turn into zombies up there."
Right.
Yeah, piglins, if they come into the overworld, do turn into zombie pig, like zombie pigmen, which is like a real mob in Minecraft. But I don't know of a potion that can stop them from turning into zombies. So maybe that's made up.
But at least they have to find a way to get them to the surface. They,
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I do like how they're talking about this orb, the orb of dominance, which is the sort of MacGuffin thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like Jack Black's line where he's like, "Where I come from, that's called a cube."
Yes.
It's a cube, but everyone calls it an orb.
Squarest orb I'd ever seen. He says at one point.
Yeah. That worked for me. That it's this cubic orb.
Very good.
Yeah.
So calling it an orb. But there's like the orb, and it goes into the crystals. There's like two parts of this MacGuffin. Again, remember how we talked about how everything has to have like two parts that come together, like in Transformers,
Indiana Jones,
Mission Impossible, the key, the cross key or whatever, the crucifix key.
Cruciform key.
Yes. Oh my gosh. True. So we're back to paint by numbers. Two-piece
Right.
MacGuffin.
At one point, the one half, the crystal breaks, and they have to like find a new crystal to put the orb in. So, yeah, real good stuff there. So, what should we talk about next? Yeah.
Well, basically, yeah. So because he doesn't pay for his house because he's trapped in the Nether, they box up his stuff. That ends up in Jason Momoa's storage locker.
Unit.
That's how he ends up with the crystal. And through a very confusing set of steps, everybody ends up at the mine together, and we cross the threshold literally into the Minecraft world.
And then there's they have to basically, our four heroes are in the overworld. They don't know that. Jason Momoa is doing funny stuff, being like, "I think we're in a video game. Here's what we do," and he like tries to like talk to NPCs and stuff. I thought,
tries to talk to a sheep.
Kind of fun.
This is our quest giver. Yeah,
our quest giver.
I work with animals. I don't think that thing can understand you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. They basically have to survive their one little night. The thing we know about the Minecraft world is daytime safe, nighttime dangerous. You have to build a home. That's what the game sort of incentivizes you to do.
Absolutely. The zombies and things come out at night. And I love this aspect of it where they're like, and night seems to happen every 20 minutes here. which is very funny because that's the day-night cycle of Minecraft. It's a lot faster, obviously, than a normal day. So
That was
all of a sudden
scary.
it turns night, and they're like, "Did that happen like really fast or something?"
Yeah.
I love that.
So they basically have a failure of defending themselves, but they do hold strong, and Malgosha realizes that she needs Steve's help in defeating these newcomers and sort of returning to the overworld, or I guess even going further to conquer Earth. So she relents to say, "You go deal with them," and releases Jack Black by blackmailing and saying, "And of course, we still have your dog." Tell me his
Which
name one more time.
Dennis.
But they only have the collar, so she's kind of lying to
Yes.
Jack Black. We're gonna kill your
Right.
dog if you don't retrieve the orb.
Yes.
And again, the way Jack Black tames the dog, he gives it a bone. That's exactly how you tame a wild wolf in Minecraft and turn it into your pet.
Okay.
So it definitely has that aspect of it. Yeah. So
Nice.
again, so many references to the actual game in a very funny way. Surviving that first night is like the first thing you do in Minecraft. You're running from zombies and creepers and skeletons. And
Yeah, Henry kind of picks it up. He runs into a tree and kind of starts to piece together how the
punches the
world works.
tree.
He's really quick.
The first
and then
thing
he
you
kinda
do
saves
in
everybody.
any
Thing, I like how they put down the blocks. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
and they literally turn into a little thing that you take into your inventory. And the first thing
Mhm.
you always do in a new Minecraft world is you punch wood, punch a tree to get wood to start building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's learning that, picking up very quickly. They build their first little shelter to try to protect themselves from the monsters at night.
There's
But they're
hijinks
getting
ensuing with
overwhelmed.
Jason Momoa. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they get overwhelmed, starting to.
And then who comes and saves them?
Who are you?
I am Steve.
Ooh,
Famous
yeah,
line
that's
from the
what I'm
trailer.
talking about.
Yeah, and clap.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I'm throwing popcorn at an old lady next to me. I'm really hitting her.
Mm-hmm. And then
Again,
he's
it's
doing his
like
kung
Sonic coming and saving James Marsden and saying, "I am Sonic."
fu. Yes. Yeah, we
Right
love
there.
it.
Like, you know him. That's the guy.
He said the thing.
It
So
would
he's doing his
basically
kung
be like,
fu's.
I just want to say real quick, because you keep trying to throw Sonic under the bus here, dog. And Mike and I do have a special feeling for those films.
They're great.
It would be more like if every 5 minutes he was like, chili dogs, but I love those. And that is not how the Sonic movies go at all, dog.
Chili
like,
Dog
"I
would be the
need-
chicken jockey of the
Yes.
Sonic
I
universe.
dropped all my rings. Oh no.
How do my shoes work? It's funny that you ask that. So my shoes are things that I have to wear to run fast. Oh, okay.
And I gotta go fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's different because Sonic is Sonic coming into our world,
Yes.
whereas if it was humans going into Sonic's world and him explaining how everything worked in that world, that's what this movie is basically.
Right.
Regardless of any kind of complexity to mythology, having a mascot character lends you some sort of credulity to identity to an IP of being like, oh, Sonic seems like a dude. Like, I can kind of comprehend this. Again, Minecraft is a concept that they've tried to be like, and you know Steve from Smash Brothers? And I'm like, I certainly don't. Like, let's relax on
he in
this
Smash
identity
Brothers?
you're trying to put on him. He is a DLC character in the video game Smash Brothers.
Wow.
Dog.
And they will be cowards if they don't get the Jack Black skin in there ASAP.
Yeah.
I wonder if they
Dirty
did any of the
hobo
moves from
beard.
Smash in the movie.
There's not a chance.
What's he do? He
Mike.
hits
I
things
don't
with a
think he
pickaxe.
does.
I
even
guess.
that.
I don't know his moveset, but anyway. Yeah, so he gets saved by Steve. He's hitting zombies with their own arm and doing Kung Fu Panda stuff.
And he times it perfectly for the day to come back, and of course all the zombies light on fire because that's what happens in Minecraft when it turns day. All the mobs get lit on fire from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just have to survive the nights. That's what Minecraft is all about.
And real quick, just to check in on my no effects version, the fight is super crazy. It's
I bet.
basically you're just like watching him like spin and just like chop the air basically, and you're like, oh boy, is that Jack Black?
Got it in one take, everybody. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll do.
Yeah. So the plot of this movie is kind of like very bare bones, right? I mean, it's a basic. They need to get to okay, because Jason Momoa is an idiot. The crystal gets broken, so they need a new crystal for the orb of dominance to send them home so they can open up the portal to the real world. So they need to go to the Woodland Mansion to get a new crystal. Now, Woodland Mansions are a real thing in Minecraft. Yeah.
Okay, and
Interesting.
how do they function? What is the deal with the Woodland Mansion?
Yeah, what is
Well,
that?
they explain it all in this movie called a Minecraft movie.
Okay.
Okay, so they
Yes,
got good
and
loot in them, essentially.
Yeah, they have real mobs called like Inquisitors and Evokers that are like evil villager looking guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just there's like strongholds and different like things in the nether that you can kind of go in and loot and get different things. So this is like in certain woodland biomes, you can go into this procedurally generated mansion and get the loot and stuff. So that's all
Okay.
very accurate. But first they go to the village, right? And they meet the villagers. These guys are chill. They just love eating bread. They love crushing loaf.
Crushing loaf. Who are those guys? Those dudes? They're the villagers.
They're the
Yeah.
villagers.
I built all this. In fact, I also built this restaurant. Oh, what's that it's called? Steve's Lava Chicken, you notice?
I love this because this is a specific reference. You can make so part of the brilliance of Minecraft is making things with redstone, making automated machines within Minecraft. Redstone is sort of basically electricity in Minecraft. You can use switches, you can use all kinds of things to make machines if you get really into that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I had a machine that turned cows into steak in our world that we had with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's
Also-
Lava Steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin and I also kind of took over a village and built a bunch of stuff in it and bred a bunch of villagers to make new villagers. We also built a gallows that we would execute the delinquent villagers.
It was
Right.
important. We had a whole system of eugenics, Jacob and I were like,
Yes, we were
no,
very
no,
into
we don't
eugenics
want
where-
this kind of guy.
You guys are
So
doing the
Gallows
lottery.
with you.
There's a kind of villager called the Nitwit, which is basically like a so villagers in Minecraft all get a specific job that they do. Like they can be farmers, they can be blacksmiths, and then that job, whatever, depending on what job they have, you can trade with them and get different things, right? So there's a specific villager that can't be trained to do any job called the Nitwit. And that's actually the villager that goes into the real world in this movie and has a romance with Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my gosh, he has a
Yeah.
name. Okay. They
Yeah,
did
so
do their
he's
homework.
basically
Village
the
idiot.
town, yes, the village idiot, and we very eugenically would take all the nitwits and execute them in our gallows. So
But we had a system.
morally questionable, but we can tolerate nitwits in our village.
No, but our society
No.
was strong.
Yes, Sparta.
Yeah.
Everybody had a function.
That's right.
0% joblessness. It was perfect.
That's right.
But if you get into Minecraft and the mechanics of it, you can get really in depth with it, where you can breed villagers together by a specific way. It depends on how many beds you have in houses, is how many villagers you could actually have in a village. So you can take a pre-made village and like build upon it and add more and more villagers. So I got really into that side of things. It's pretty complicated because you can also move. You can take a zombie and trap him like underground, and then turn him into a villager, de-zombify him, and then breed those villagers together. So there's a lot you can actually do in Minecraft if you know how.
Yeah, like I know just through my limited experience, like I was familiar with redstone being electricity. I'm like, wow, look at them using redstone correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
So that attention to detail I can respect at least.
And a big thing about Minecraft is making farms, automated farms of everything. And so I love that they reference like when they go in the mines and he's like, oh, this is my creeper farm, because a creeper farm is a real thing that you can make an automated creeper farm to get the gunpowder from creepers, because gunpowder is a very powerful ingredient for making dynamite and fireworks and stuff. So if you look at like the big Minecraft YouTubers and stuff who have like there's this guy that I love called Ethos Lab. That's my favorite Minecraft YouTuber who's been running the same solo world for like 12 years. And he just has every kind of farm you can imagine. Like it's insane. And so you can farm every kind of mob in the game and get whatever their drop is. So you can just get unlimited amounts of whatever material you need to build things.
Yeah.
So it's all about resource hoarding. And that's what I love so much.
And
about
I'll
it.
just
Yeah.
again
Resource
say
accrual.
There's a lot of cruelty involved.
Yes.
What I liked the most about the game was the social aspect of like the community and like blah blah blah. But in particular, playing with you, Jacob, because you are a resource of knowledge on mechanics inside the game, but also your ability to basically be like, oh, I know what we need as a little society. Hey, everybody, for this town, I set up XYZ, this over here. So you've got unlimited dye, you've got unlimited materials to make this. And it
Yes.
makes the game a lot more fun to be like, oh, I can walk over here to the little store Jacob made and pick out what I want and sort of like use the materials I want to make my stuff. So it was always a hoot,
Right.
dude.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
love about Minecraft communities, people making different things, and then like I made a sheep farm that just had every color of sheep, so you could have every color of wool that you want for building, and I made that in our little server. I also made a potions factory that would just had automated potion makers, because there's all different kinds of potions you can make, potions of swiftness, potions of fire resistance, all different kinds of useful things.
Jay would just make up me all these underwater breathing potions, and then
Yeah.
I would just like live an Atlantis life, Mike. I would just like
That's
live
awesome.
underwater for hours. I would drink so many of them, and then truly in real world time be underwater for like hours and be like, oh, I better go back up to the surface eventually here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they've added so much stuff to the game over the years because they release regular updates with new
Yeah.
things. And like fire resistance potions are so useful. Like if you go to the end, if you go to the nether, obviously there's a lot of lava. You can fall in the lava and die. But if you have the fire resistance potion, you're immune to the lava.
Backstroking.
Yeah. So there's
Yep.
different ways you can just protect yourself. And it's basically like end game content where it's like how much work you put in to set up all this for yourself to make yourself stronger and better at the game. Diamond armor, full set that you can enchant with different enchantments and things.
Hell
Enchanting
yeah.
table is a big part of it. So it's really, it can get really in depth. It can be really basic where you're like, I built a little log cabin, or it can be like, I have every fucking thing in the game.
I built the internet.
Right.
Oh.
I've seen people build computers that run Doom.
Yeah.
Like
Redstone
inside of it.
is fascinating.
You can
It's
do
great for
binary with
learning
it.
Mhm.
learning programming, learning circuitry and how different circuits, are made because they have pistons, they have switches, so you can do so much with redstone. It's actually mind-boggling.
Right.
Even over my head. I can make basic machines and stuff. I can make automated trapdoors that open up and stuff, but what people have done in Minecraft is incredible.
Well, the way Steve says in the beginning, it's like, and the more I built, the better I got. It's like once you master those systems, then you can have automation and stuff like an automatic hot chicken, lava chicken store.
Lava chicken.
There was a roller. Someone made a roller coaster in our server with redstone and minecart tracks and things.
That's
So
right.
yeah, we get minecart a little bit later,
yeah,
which is cool. And then we get what a lot of other players have whenever I go on tours, the stash. We get to the stash and we see all of the stuff that's like actual Minecraft items, how they look in the game.
We're here for my stuff.
This is a crafting table.
wow.
Yeah, he said it.
Crafting table. Yeah, and so it was interesting how the crafting table works in this game, where you put things down and hammer it, and then it turns into whatever. Like that's exactly how it works in the game, kind of. Where
But you
make
can't build bucket chucks, right?
No, they made things that don't exist in this game, like the bucket chucks or like the tater tot gun
shooter
that the kid makes.
Right. Yeah. Why does he make that?
Yeah, that's not a thing in the game, but again, a reference to Tots, Napoleon Dynamite.
It's going to be in the game now. Patch cut incoming.
I'm sure.
Right.
But they're gearing up to go to the mansion, right?
Yeah, they need to like find a map to the Woodland Mansion.
Oh, I hate this subplot.
They get kind of separated. Yeah.
Yeah, they spent so much time explaining what the nether eye does, Jacob, or the Enderman eye. The throw it. And
yes, the Ender Pearl. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Real thing in the game.
Pearl. Didn't you think that's how Jason Momoa was going to survive? And instead he's like, I used the bucket thing.
Oh, here's what I learned.
Yeah.
I watched a video. The bucket thing is real, right? If you jump off of anything high and throw a bucket of water on the ground.
Jacob's always told me since we've played, always have a bucket of water on you for like a million different reasons.
Well, also, when you're mining down in the caves and you come across lava, if you spill some water on the lava, it turns into obsidian, so you can protect yourself that way.
Okay, I'm loving the amount of research they did.
You want to, if you mine at level 11, Y level 11 to get, that's the perfect level to get diamonds, because diamonds only spawn in a certain level. Like you see the XYZ coordinates of wherever you are in the game. So you can use that. Different metals spawn at different levels underground. So iron is at a certain level.
Whoa, bro, hold on. Did you say you've got diamonds? I saw that note that you've got treasures in here. Yeah, bro, there's all these treasures, bro. All right, bro. Well, you're going to take me to those treasures or I'm going to break your thing.
Oh, we do get that plot introduced too.
So
Do you think he's just doing Macho Man Randy Savage this whole movie?
No.
Kind of. He's
Maybe.
kind of. Yeah, he wants to project this macho image, but he's actually kind of a loser. Is kind of his character. And
Right.
He's very
I don't pretend to be people's uncles anymore. I'll pay $28. I'll be there.
Right.
He's self-conscious of Steve, Jack Black, because he's like, man, everyone likes Steve. I should be the guy that everybody likes. So they have some kind of rivalry.
He's very antagonistic in this to everybody. He's actually like kind of a dick to everybody in the party.
Yeah,
He's always
his
like,
name is
Henry
the garbage man.
Like the worst.
He is a garbage man.
Yeah. But every character has like their own arc in this movie, I guess, where you have sister. The sister wants to be like a better guardian for her brother. Danielle Brooks wants to be more financially
of an animal
stable
trainer,
so that she can make her dream job instead of having to do real estate. Obviously, Jason Momoa needs money because his business is going out of business. So yeah, I guess they all have arcs that they fulfill over the movie, but
I want to put it in air quotes, but yes, they have little character. Like Jason Momoa needs to learn to not be a jerk to everybody. So there are seeds of arcs. The shortest little arc you can arc, but they're in there.
But they do get separated, where it's like Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and Henry, and then the two girls, Danielle Brooks and Emma Myers, kind of get separated. Like, oh, we'll meet you at the Woodland Mansion or whatever. Then we have a scene where they use elytra wings to fly, which again, elytra wings are a real thing in Minecraft that you can use to fly.
There's an attack on the village.
Yeah, there's the attack by the piglins on the village. So that's how they get separated. Elytra wings are actually more of a glider, but you use them in conjunction with fireworks to fly because you can use the fireworks to sort of propel yourself.
Which they did do, right? Someone busted out a firework, I think, at some point during that chase.
Can't remember.
And then we have a scene where Jack Black and Jason Momoa 69 each other
to fit through a hole.
Yeah.
Why are they flying?
Because it's slapstick. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah.
Good, I guess.
They're like, you need to lock in more or whatever. So they're flying through the air, 69ing.
And then the girls, they find Dennis.
Yeah. And
he's a wild animal and they feed him.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
because Danielle Brooks, her whole thing is that she knows animals, so she tames it. And then that leads them to Jack Black's scent. Steve Black. I should call him Steve Black.
Yes, his name's Steve now. Steve Black.
Steve Black, yeah.
So while they're trying to do that, we're going to the Woodland Mansion. And we go underground first, right? Because Jason Momoa says, you got to take me to the treasures, and then I'll give you the cube. So they're going kind of on a detour.
Yeah, he makes them go on a detour where they go to the mine, and this is where we get the minecart stuff. Very realistic to Minecraft, where you use redstone torches and things to power the mine carts. He's like, oh no, my creeper farm, all that stuff. We also, I forgot to mention in the village. Now here's a reference that I did really appreciate. You remember when there is a scene where a pig with a crown walks by, and Henry says like, oh, is he like a king or something? And Jack Black says, no, he's a legend.
I do remember that.
Remember that? You're probably thinking, what's that all about? Right?
Yeah, what's
this pig with a crown? So this is actually really touching. It's a reference to a real Minecraft YouTuber named Technoblade who passed away from cancer. He was like 22 years old. He passed away. And they put that reference in the game. So I thought that was really a really nice thing that they did.
That was his like avatar?
His avatar was like a pig with a crown. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I did learn a little bit about Technoblade watching the Easter egg videos. And he had like 11 million subscribers, beloved member of the Minecraft community, from what I gather.
Yeah.
Who was
A
the
big,
one who was like, "Don't you guys want to see my face?" Everybody was like, "I guess so." And then he finally did, and they were
Oh,
like, "We don't
Dream.
want to see your face.
Yeah.
Oh,
His face reveal, people are like, oh, he's ugly.
Look, it's me, Dream.
Yeah,
I'm what
and actually,
you've been dreaming of."
so
Oh,
Dream SMP was like a big server that a lot of Minecraft YouTubers were on
is he in
together.
this?
I don't think he's in this, but Technoblade was a part of Dream SMP. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Oh,
Did we?
but yeah,
Yeah, I just want to quickly. Did we mention that all the people at the storage auction were like YouTubers for Minecraft? Like all the other
oh,
people looking at
is
the
that who they
lot.
were? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
And so when the guy says he's not a member of the storage community anymore, like let's get out of here. They're like
Oh,
saying, "Oh,
right.
he's not really a Minecraft community member. Let's get out of here."
Like I think Dan TDM and some other like big Minecraft YouTubers.
Dream was there.
Yeah, Dream.
But they
But
hide his face.
Technoblade,
Look at
I just
me.
thought that was a really nice thing they did for
Hmm.
Technoblade to reference him and say like, oh, is that a king or something? He's like, no, he's a legend. Like that's a nice reference.
That
I like
is,
that they
and
did that.
regardless of quality, yeah, kind of immortalized in the Minecraft movie. Good on him.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I was talking some like press material and stuff with the cast, and Jack Black said that was Henry, the kid that plays Henry's idea to do that because he's like, look, there's this
No
big
way.
Minecrafter that passed away. It was really sad. He died in like 2023 or something, so it was
I
pretty
think
recent.
2022, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and Jacob, the big interview that I read about from like everybody involved was basically like we all played it, we got on a private server together, blah blah blah. But Jack Black, when we'd be done filming, he would go back and play it for hours, and he would
Sure.
ask us all the time if he could make specific references. Specifically, what he wanted to talk about more than anything was lapis lazuli.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's another resource that you can mine. It's a blue
Let's
like
say what
a blue
he would
rock.
just say, "Hey, look, it's lapis lazuli."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's funny. Flint and steel.
Oh, Flint and
Um,
Steel. Yeah.
Flint and steel is a real thing in the game that you use to
course.
make fire, of course, and light
To open those
a
nether portals
portal.
specifically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
we're
so much
right,
so much
right.
references to Minecraft. It's crazy.
Well, the next big reference is they're in this mine, they blah blah blah. They basically get stolen by the invokers or whatever, and they get tied up and realize they're in a little cage match or whatever, and they go,
Well,
"Oh,
first we have
I've heard about these." Oh, what?
Jack Black explaining how woodland mansions work for like 30 seconds, where he's like, on the first level, there's these evokers, and they have hatchets, and all this stuff is like directly like the mobs in Minecraft.
It's-
I'm like, why do they
yes,
spend so
but-
much time on this? It's crazy.
Because again, the audience that this movie was made for is a bunch of guys. Well, it's not all guys. Like anybody can be neuro, whatever.
Right.
So
Well,
it is
they're all 12-year-olds though.
Yes.
No, but all the parents are like, I
yeah.
don't understand any of this. Please exposition me,
Right.
Jack Black.
Please tell me anything.
But none of it
Yes.
matters. Like none
No,
of this
it doesn't.
detail of the woodland mansions matter.
So they get caught in this fight, and it's the garbage man has to prove himself. He's basically doing one of the street brawls from his game,
Right. He's doing a wrestling match.
and
Mhm.
it comes out it's a chicken, and he's like, "All right, I'll fight this
You gotta
chicken."
fight this
He's
chicken?
like, I don't care. I'll kill this chicken. Like
It's a
he
fight to
starts
the death.
trash talking it. There's a
Yep.
box above it. They drop the box down. A little baby zombie comes out. Jack Black goes, "It's a chicken jockey."
Chicken jockey.
What is
Yeah.
this? What is happening?
So chicken jockey is a real thing where there's baby zombies in the game, and when they ride chickens, they're called chicken jockeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also zombies can ride the
there you
big
go.
spiders, and then they're like spider jockeys or whatever. I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, and the skeletons and stuff's on there. So are they aggressive, the chicken jockeys?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, baby zombies will run at you instead of walk slowly towards you like regular zombies. And then when they're on chickens, they become chicken jockeys and they can run towards you.
so but
Mm.
hold on. So Jacob, we haven't even talked about this yet. But what is your opinion on how everything looks? Like the texture of the zombies, the
Well-
cubedness of everything, of this whole world.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have preferred more, that it looked like this or it looked like actual Minecraft where everything is truly very like low res and blocky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's funny to me because there's these, aside from modded Minecraft, which adds a lot of different things into the game and new things, You can also get
details.
texture. But you can get texture and HD mods, which change the entire look of it. And so to me, this looks like some of the HD mods that you can actually install into vanilla Minecraft to make it look like this. So that's a very funny aspect of it. It does look, I mean, I don't know how else I guess it should have looked. I didn't love how it looked. Like, I don't know. What did you guys think?
Did you see any of they've now released artwork and props from the Rob McElhenney version. Did you see any of those leaks today?
No.
A physical Enderman.
What?
Isn't that?
I want to look that up.
I think I want that less. I don't want any of this stuff to actually be real. I don't think.
No, I did like the reference to the Enderman. Don't look him in the eyes; they'll start freaking out at you.
An Enderman.
Yeah, and I love the Ender Pearl reference because when he throws it, he's like, "Oh, no big deal. That's just really hard to get," because it is actually really hard to get in the game.
Please don't use my stuff.
No biggie.
I almost died killing an Enderman for that, but okay, thanks for wasting it.
Mm-hmm.
And they are used to teleport you wherever you throw it. It teleports you. So.
And that does pay off, later. Because what we have, there's Chicken Jockey fight as a distraction, and then Henry's trying to go upstairs and find the Earth Crystal. Except there's like a zillion drawers, so he's opening all these boxes.
Yes. Now this reminded me of, in every Minecraft world I've ever had, I always make a huge storage room with a bunch of chests. I label them, and I have to have everything in a specific chest. As Colin's seen when I've given him Minecraft tours and things, like it's very important to have a very well organized storage room.
Mike hasn't gotten a Minecraft.
Oh, I've seen them. Yeah. I've seen the boxes. I've seen the storage.
Yeah. It's very important because you get so many materials. You have to have everything organized so you know where it is.
Because if you don't, then you're like Henry in this scene, and you got to open 1,000,000 chests to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was particularly proud of the base that I made in our server that we had with Adam. Where I made it all inside of a mountain, and there's all rooms underground, and I had it all decorated and stuff. I like to you can put portraits on the wall in games, and you can have, false portraits where you can walk through them, and it's at a door. So I had a portrait, so I could walk through it and go into my huge storage room, and then I go down some stairs. I have a big portal room with an enchanting table and everything. Yeah. I was really happy with how that turned out.
Jacob makes bases.
Yeah, you gotta have a base.
Compounds.
Right.
Mine is a tree house, if you recall.
Basically, it's
very. I loved Colin's because it was very like his style. He had this crazy tree house. He had a bunch of cats in there.
Right. That's what I always do. Is I try to catch all the cats.
Tame a bunch of cats. Yeah, I had some cats too, and I like to name the cats and then just make them sit down and meow.
You always got to make them sit down because otherwise, you
always
got to turn the volume off because otherwise it's just too loud with all these cats around.
Man. You can tame cats, you can tame dogs. They didn't have cats in this movie, which I was disappointed in.
We need to do a Mind Cat movie next time.
Yeah,
Dennis.
Yep. But yeah, he finds the Earth Crystal, and I think he finds the Ender Pearl too up there. He finds another one.
Oh, that's true. And they get all this stuff, and then the ladies, meanwhile, I said rescued Dennis. What did they? I can't even remember this. And again, I've seen this movie twice now. What did they do that then Emma Myers won't shut up being like, "Wow, I was a real badass back there." What like little scrape do they get in that changes her life?
I think fighting some zombies or something. Yeah,
but
that's fighting skeletons and stuff. That's her arc.
That at the end, she's like, "I've actually started teaching self-defense. It's been my life calling this whole time." Well, you're a werewolf. I would have said.
She has maybe the least defined arc in that she's like, I guess I'm trying to be a good guardian for my brother and a good role model, and then I'm learning self-defense.
Interpreted mom's last words as, "I should take care of you." What did the mom say? Do you guys think?
Oh man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's the only family that they have, right? So she kind of has to.
But they try to set up that like she says something about like, and then Henry wrecked the thing at the potato factory, and he's like, "Oh, she doesn't care about me," but she's like really not being that hard on him, so she feels bad.
No, she's basically like, "Why did you destroy this whole town's income source?"
Right.
Yeah.
But then,
And
so he's
and Gizmo's like, that was awesome, bro.
Right. But yeah, there's the whole thing where Jason Momoa wants to be a mentor to Henry and like charge him for classes on how to be a winner or something.
That was all very good as well. I did like all of that,
It's
actually.
$50 an hour. I'll teach you how to be a winner like me. But then the whole time he's actually a loser who's losing his business.
When he says something like, well, what's the secret to winning? He's like, you think I'm going to tell you without paying?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I charge for.
Hot pizza. Yeah.
Leave potato hot pizza. Nice, bro. What's going on? When he like locks him the first time he comes in, he's like, weak, weird. You're being weird, kid. All right, leave the pizza.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa should just star in a weird Jared Hess movie.
Yeah.
I guess
he
just don't
Called
make
the
those
Minecraft
anymore.
movie.
Well, he did, I guess. Yes.
No, but the real world stuff, I want more of that.
Yeah. I was very into the small town stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then there's like, I guess, a big battle and stuff where they're preparing to fight the piglins and stuff. Again, this is all kind of stuff like, it's like, well, there's no story to Minecraft, so I guess we have to make up a story where they have to fight the piglins.
The thing about Malgosia you have to realize is that she came in third in her local talent show or something.
Okay, I want to talk
all
about
creativity had to die because of that. And you're like,
that's
what?
Right.
Yeah, that's all nonsense. But if I want to talk about the music of Minecraft for a second, because I love the music in this movie. The soundtrack was done by
this movie.
Yeah. Well, there's references to the Minecraft movie. So the soundtrack was done by Mark Mothersbaugh.
Oh shit!
Of Devo, who's done a lot of movie music in the last 20, 30 years or whatever. So he's become a movie composer. But so he did the music for this, but he took a lot of inspiration from the original Minecraft songs that we all know and love, or at least I do. Colin, you've heard them.
I recognize the opening. Menu theme and stuff.
Twinkly little piano. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The original composer of Minecraft, C418, who is the stage name of a guy named David Rosenfield, I think, who made all the original Minecraft music. But in this Malgosia scene where she's dancing in this flashback at the Nether Got Talent, right? The song that they use is in this dance scene is Pig Step, which is an actual Minecraft song. So since 2020, there's been new music recorded made by Lena Rain, who made this song Pig Step. It's a real song in Minecraft. So again, just another fun reference that a lot of people might not, might go over their heads, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, okay, so yeah, they're
Lena Rain, I should say, is
paying attention.
Someone I like a lot who did the music for Celeste, the game Celeste. If you ever played that, yeah. So big fan, and I love Pig Step. So go listen to Pig Step.
Pig Step, okay, Pig Step Us, my favorite Kendrick Lamar song.
Yeah, and of course you can get music discs in Minecraft and play them in a music player, and they have all different songs.
I had a little record player in my house.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And you get those by farming creepers again. So in our world, I had a whole setup where I would, you draw the creeper in, it's like chasing you, right? You kind of lock it into this mechanism, and then have the way you get music discs is you have a skeleton shoot a creeper with their bow and arrows, because skeletons have bows and arrows in the game. And if a skeleton kills a creeper, it'll drop a music disc. And
watching
collect all the different music discs. Yeah.
Watching Jacob stand like a scarecrow out in the sandy desert, like in between where my complex was and his, and just being like, I wonder what he's doing over there, was like, is it Jason Goes to Hell? Whatever Friday the 13th with the worm or whatever that starts with the beautiful blonde woman being like, oh, come kill me, Jason. And then they just immediately turn and it's the FBI blowing somebody up. Like Jacob would lure this creeper into this like death machine that would isolate it and lock it away and then torture it so that it exploded by itself. It was so grim and barbaric.
And you have to have a you catch a skeleton, lock it in, give it a name tag so it doesn't despawn, because if you name a mob, it won't despawn. So then so I capture that on one side, then you capture a creeper on the other side, have the skeleton aggro the
Slave
creeper.
one.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's very complex, but Minecraft, we love it. Pig step. What's some other things I liked in this?
What's some other things? This is where we get the water bucket. I mean, we've got the
Relief.
gas.
Yeah.
We've got Jason Momoa returning after a self-sacrifice, right?
That's right. We get the gas chips. Those are all fun.
Are those real?
Ghasts are real. Yeah, ghasts are like giant ghost things that'll chase you in the nether and shoot fireballs at you. Very annoying to deal with in the nether.
Yeah, so one way or another, Morgosha got the cube and is now trying to unleash the nether on the overworld, right? That's kind of our
plot is all kind of nonsense, but yeah,
She's never trying to come to Earth. She's just trying to take over the rest of Minecraft.
Because the overworld has all these riches and stuff, so she wants to take it over so she can have the riches, right?
Yeah.
Maybe eventually go to Earth, but who knows?
Yeah, I guess. It's just very interesting that the stakes aren't like, and then she'll come to our world. That it's like, we need to protect Nitwit.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But
there is this whole thing where
moron.
They make like this mushroom house and stuff, and Steve is like, "You made a mushroom house. I love it."
Yeah.
And
we're ladies. We made a mushroom house.
Oh, that's right. Because the ladies rescue them.
There is mushroom forest biomes in Minecraft, so that's another reference. And everything they use, like the lamps, everything they use to build it is like real things in Minecraft, torches and all that. So I love that.
Yeah.
Then they're preparing to like face this army. They're taming a bunch of wolves. They're doing all this shit. Sword and shield, those are real things in Minecraft. Diamond armor, full set. Okay, this is a minor annoyance to me is that when Jack Black is wearing his diamond armor, he's not wearing a full set because he's not wearing the pants. He's got the helmet, the shirt, and the boots, but it's actually 4 parts for a full set.
I thought it was just the helmet and the boots. I didn't even notice the shirt.
I think
the shirt gets destroyed in the battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not a full set. Where's his pants?
Dang. All right. Pants. This movie's 0 out of 10 now. Not a full set. The quote is a lie. I'm upset. But yeah,
diamond swords and stuff to fight, and then there's a big battle, I guess. Yeah.
We're gearing up. Everybody gets to use their special skill. Danielle taming animals.
Oh, the iron golems. Trainer. They're making iron, so they need a lot of iron to make the iron golems.
Oh, they start mining and crafting. Let's Minecraft, yeah.
Oh, this is a scene where they said, first you mine, then you craft. It's Minecraft. And then they all put their hands together, and they all say something different, which is very funny. And then he's like, what'd you say? And Daniel Brooks is like, Minecraft. He's like, oh, we should have said that. Oh, there's no time. Let's go.
That's a really good moment. That's really good.
Yeah.
Maybe my favorite joke in the entire series, though, or movie, is right at the end here, where after they defeat Malgosha, she's like, "Oh, and I'm so sick and I'm so weak. Steve, just like come here for a minute."
Knife you're gonna stab me with.
It's like, no. I know you've got a little knife. No, I'm too weak to hold a little knife. And he like knocks it away, and she goes like, "Oh, you got me, Steve. You got me. You know what you should do? Come here and take my hand for a minute."
You gotta be kidding me. That's all very funny.
It's all very
then she
good.
picks it up off the ground for the 3rd beat. I don't even have one. That's my only 2.
Come on, I don't have a knife. Yeah.
He's like, "You really are too weak to pick it up," is how it ends. And she goes, "I know," and she just like fades away.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about iron golems, which is another real thing in Minecraft.
Yeah.
They protect the villagers. And as everyone knows, you make an iron golem by putting
buzzkill. What does he say?
You put down blocks of iron in a T formation, and then you put a jack-o'-lantern on top as the head, and it turns into an iron golem. And that's how they make a bunch of iron golems.
That's
in this movie. So they need a bunch of iron to make them. But then, as you know, iron golems won't attack unless they're aggroed first. So they all stop and they don't attack the piglins, but then one of them accidentally shoots at Trevor. He's like, or whatever, like, Trevor, you idiot.
Right.
And then that's when
one of them's name is Chuglin, and I'm pretty sure it's played by the director. And he's the one who's like, "Oh, Steve,
hey,
it's so
guys.
great to see you."
Yeah, he's like the big,
your best friend's in jail.
Unfortunately, I am going to have to kill you. I'm sorry about that.
He says unalive, which is a Gen Z thing.
I'm gonna have to
unalive you. Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's another brain rot TikTok thing.
Well, it's like, to get around censorship too, because you can't say kill, so they had to create a term. Anyway,
right?
Segs,
that's what Gen Z.
Yes.
Segs.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Segsing and unaliving people on TikTok here.
Yep, life is segs
Then
and
it'll
unaliving.
be like footage of like the Palestinian like bombings and stuff, and you're like,
They're
oh
unaliving
God,
them.
these
Yeah.
poor kids. You just
That's the world we live in now. That's how
a
Gen
little.
Z identifies with the world. You know, they
Mhm.
disassociate by saying unalive. Yeah.
And cheering for, cheering for
They gotta
chicken
watch their
jockey.
little brain rot movie, cheer for their little chicken jockey.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
it's
Chicken
perfect.
jockey.
chicken jockey. So then so they win. They're like, we're gonna go back, and they're like, you should come. And Jack Black's like, no, I've got so much stuff to do. And they're like, you should really come. And he's like, no, come on, come on. And then basically they're like, no, you shouldn't. He's like, all right, I guess.
All right.
Yeah,
Wait, I will go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, screw it.
Another
And they
funny
just
moment that I
yeah.
liked when that I didn't mention in the storage unit auction when he's like, yeah, the contents of the storage unit, a bunch of turquoise unisex blouses,
Yeah,
adult
we could all be
blouses.
wearing them. We could be going
Yeah.
out together wearing these blouses. What do you think about that, man? And he goes, I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. So there is some funny lines that I did enjoy in this
If you
movie.
make this
It's
happen
all
for
the-
me, I'll give the idea of being your friend some serious thought or something. He says,
Yeah.
I'll hang out with you.
It is a movie that is weird on top of being a weird film. Like, obviously, it would be so easy to just make a weird Minecraft movie. Minecraft is weird. No, this film is very distinctly weird, and that is the
Yeah.
parts that I liked about it.
Absolutely. It's very weird while also being this like big IP movie that they're like, okay, we need to get as many kids
Yes.
into these theater seats that we can, but also we're gonna have these weird jokes and humor and stuff. So
In
I appreciate
3 seconds, let's spend 3 seconds on the Jennifer Coolidge subplot, which is that all this is happening, and she
that.
meanwhile
Oh, your
meets
head
this
is so
villager.
big.
You're so handsome. Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh,
And
you
just,
want to take me out
does
on a
her.
date?
She just does her big squinty eyes and her crazy voice. And yeah, and you just get that for
Yeah.
occasionally for 2 minutes
The ending
every
tag.
hour, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending tag joke of the whole thing is that, he talks like a villager. That's how they talk in
Yes.
Minecraft, of course. But in the end, it's actually Matthew Barry. He said,
They have a beautiful
"Oh, I
voice.
love you. Will you marry me?"
And she
She
speaks
goes,
villager. Which was
You had your chance, Clemente.
so bizarre.
Clemente.
There's one good joke at dinner when the waitress comes up and is like, "Are you finished?" And she's like, "No, I think he's
I
Swedish."
think he's Swedish, but yes, we are.
That's
we are done.
very good. Yes, but we are done.
Yes, we are done eating.
No, I think finish. Look at his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. But then they end up making Jason Momoa's store into a community center for creativity. They're making games. They're doing music,
Yeah.
painting
Yeah,
stuff.
we have a big dance off at the end. Classic dance off to end the movie. Everyone's having
Yeah.
fun, and
And-
everyone has improved their life.
Yeah, you get these little scenes of she opened the zoo, she does self-defense.
She has Dennis.
Henry
Yeah.
made the jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Momoa's
He's
business
like,
is thriving
"Minecraft."
again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
They
it's actually
jetpack.
cool.
invented
Yeah.
a game called Mind Battlers or something like that.
Yeah, again, it's like a retro arcade game, not the actual game of Minecraft.
But yeah, based on
Doesn't
their
make any
experiences
sense.
battling and yeah.
And then the final end credit scene of Jack Black, Steve, going back to his house that he used to live in.
What?
There was a post
Oh, you
credits.
didn't see
yeah.
this? You didn't stay through
guys
the whole
waited
credit.
that long? No.
I
Yeah,
owed
well,
it
I
to
knew
the
about this.
filmmakers, Colin.
I knew about it beforehand, but the final
Okay.
post credit scene, Steve goes back to his house. Someone opens the door. You only see her from the back, but it's a woman with red hair. And he says, "Oh, I used to live here," or whatever. Like, she's like, "Oh, do you want to come in? My name is Alex." Now, does that mean anything to you, Colin?
No.
Oh, my name's Steve.
What?
My name's Alex, and that's the final ending scene. Of
Who
course,
is Alex?
Alex is the female version of the player character. Instead of Steve, if you want to be the female character, you're Alex, and she's a woman with red hair and like a green shirt.
All these people
Mhm.
have names.
There's only two.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but Steve is Steve and Alex is
Steve and
Alex.
Alex. Yeah.
So that's the Alex, bro.
The
Does that blow your
Alex
mind?
from Minecraft.
So who was it?
No one
You don't see
can't
her face. You just see her from the back. She has red
Oh,
hair.
okay.
So she looks like Alex in the game, but otherwise it's just, oh, it's Alex from Minecraft. Cool.
Probably hasn't been
Okay.
cast yet if they're going to do a sequel, so they're just
I will
shoot her
say
from
I
the
did
back.
see a funny TikTok again of the reactions of all the different lines, and then at the end during that scene, she says, "I'm Alex," and someone in the theater, not my theater, but in this video I saw, someone just yells, "They're gonna fuck," and everyone just like laughs.
Guys,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Let's just shut theaters down. Let's just be done with them, don't you think?
No,
Look-
we just made $500 million. Keep them open.
Yeah.
Did I like this more than the Mario movie? Hell yeah, I think it's a better, funnier movie than the
I think
Mario
it has
movie.
more personality for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's better.
I mean, it's maybe not a better movie, but the Super Mario movie just felt so bland to me, and it doesn't have these funny jokes. Like maybe I care more about Minecraft than I do about Mario.
Well, what do you like the Bob Hoskins one better or this better?
The Bob Hoskins one I like because it's an older era of video game movies when they're just like, well, we don't really know what to do. Let's just make some shit up and have Dennis Hopper.
He's a talking dog named Mario, and you're like,
Yes.
okay, if you say so.
Right. So it's an older era of video game movies where they weren't so reliant on the IP, but they're just like, yeah, we're gonna get Shakespearean British actor Bob Hoskins to play this Italian plumber from New York. Okay.
Yeah, every scene is
John
a meme.
Leguizamo.
It's not
Yeah.
just him going chicken jockey, Goombas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, power mushroom.
Yep.
Gosh.
So, but overall, yeah, this movie, is it a mess? Is it like barely a movie? Yes. Did I really enjoy it and think it actually has some heart to it? Yeah, I also think that.
Let's discuss that a little more when we move over to our final thoughts, because I'm
Absolutely.
praying that we don't have a quiz based on mine. Jacob's not gonna. Well, Dave, you're gonna just take us on a tour, right? And you'll just describe it to the listeners.
This is my redstone. Yeah.
This is a room, a picture room.
Yep.
Yep.
Right after this.
Well, we're back here on Normies Like Us talking a Minecraft movie. And what I'm going to pose to you guys is, does this cement Jack Black as one of our biggest box office draws?
I think he has been for a long time.
If he gets another $1 billion picture with this one and Mario Brothers,
the Kung Fu Panda movies have always done well. I don't
Who
know
do
how much
they-
of that is him, but
One, remember when he was married to Lizzo in space? And two,
there's a little baby Yoda, yeah.
Who? I'd like to hold the baby. Who is Kevin Feige hitting the emergency button to cast him as in Marvel right now? Who would Jack Black as a comic book?
Would have to be Jeff the Shark, right? He just voices Jeff the Shark.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
Jacob, that's pretty fucking good.
You know
He
they
does
gotta
sing
have
that little
some kind
song,
of
the
too.
Shark
to that.
sing the song.
He does sing the
going
Rebel
off
theme
of
song.
his voicing of, he voiced the little robot in Borderlands. So
Did he have voiced Stitch in Lilo and Stitch? And should Stitch have just been him?
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing up Lilo and Stitch because I wanted to talk about this in my theater going experience. By the way, the trailers that I got beforehand.
Did people cheer for it? People love Lilo and Stitch, dog.
I don't know if people cheered for it, but I will say I got back to back. Now I can't think of what I even got.
Did you get the two Christian movies? I got the one that's The Last Supper, and then an animated Christian movie where they're like, "Let's show you the glory of God." Where I was like, "What is this?"
Whoa, I didn't get those.
No, but I got the Lilo and Stitch live action. Okay, I remember now.
Oh, for sure.
Lilo and Stitch live action, followed by How to Tame Your Dragon live action, which is a remake of a perfectly good animated movie. And I'm like, is this all Hollywood can do now? Is make animated movies into live action? Like I got those back to back, and I'm like, why do either of these exist?
That's scary, dude.
Universal.
And then I got the Mission Impossible teaser, and I was like, oh, real movies do exist.
Yeah. I mean, Universal has that new theme park that features a How to Train Your Dragon land, so this is
Yeah.
directly marketing for that. But yeah, we don't need a
I
remake.
don't understand. Like that movie didn't come out that long ago. Looks good still today. Like it hasn't aged badly or anything. And they're just remaking a movie from like 2011 in live action, and still like half of it is animated because the dragon is obviously CG. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. That's
I
another
hate
one.
it.
I've never seen a single one of those. I don't know anything
I've
about
seen the
that
first one.
universe.
It's. I mean, it's a good kids movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I haven't seen
DreamWorks,
it
but I mean
either.
that's what DreamWorks is doing now. And Leo and Stitch is like that's a classic like 2D animated in an era where they didn't really make 2D animation anymore. It's like Disney making a 2D animated, and now they're turning into one of these generic live action slop movies. I'm like,
Yeah, but
just
imagine
fucking
that Stitch has a big gray beard.
Oh, jeez.
And he's
yeah,
mad at Lilo for saying that the president should be killed.
right.
Okay. All right. On that grounds, I guess I say not maybe Jack Black and Stitch, but I may not love the Minecraft movie. Like, I think the plot is really thin. I don't love Jason Momoa, kind of. I think he's playing at one
Yeah.
note, whatever, jerk.
Mm.
And so, if it works for you, it works for you. But I kind of didn't love the plotting. I like the attention to detail for the world, but the Minecraft movie has more right to exist than either How to Train a Dragon and especially live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yes,
Agreed.
Yeah.
absolutely agree with that. And all these Lion Kings they're doing, Mufasa, the
Yeah.
prequel to a
Kill 'em
Lion
all.
King. It's like,
The Minecraft movie
yeah.
has more artistic merit than any of those live action remakes Disney has done. 100%.
Yeah, Snow White, Rachel Zegler innocent, but fuck Snow
Yes.
White.
Fuck the live action remakes, but Zegler innocent,
yeah.
yes.
Now, because Jacob said that, I'm going to have to fly all the way over to where he lives and yell at him.
No, yell
Great,
at me. Yeah. Boo Gal Gadot, yay Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to yell at you twice now, Jacob.
Look, do you know that Disney PR is not going to stand for this?
I'm a grown man and you're a young lady, and I'm going to have to scream at you.
My son was in Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes.
I also got a trailer, the extended Superman
Same.
first look that Colin did not like in our
Oh,
chat.
I didn't get that. Yeah,
I got the full like 4-minute thing with
Yeah.
crypto and everything.
He looked at me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that
I liked
too.
it. I like seeing the Fortress of Solitude. I like the
I like it
crypto relatable. He's acting like a real dog, jumping on his owner, doesn't know that he's hurting
Silly
him.
boy.
Oh, yeah,
That's
they
what a real
go,
dog would do.
I am Superman. Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
The Fortress of Solitude. Yeah.
I'm gonna sing a little song about it.
Crypto jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just. I guess that's what every movie should be from now on.
Yeah. You can take some notes, James Gunn.
LexCorp.
Well, again, if I can read some box office numbers to you.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
I wanted, man, when we started this recording, as you pulled that up, I was like, I don't like the Brain Rot movie, but the more I think about it, I'd rather have the Brain Rot movie than those live action. So I've softened on it throughout this process.
Zombie movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just to tell you, like this movie, domestically opening weekend made $162 million.
Million diamonds.
Worldwide, it made $313 million in one weekend. So this is definitely a movie that potentially could hit $1 billion plus.
Well, this is a movie that's in a franchise. So, Jacob, the sequel is they fight the Ender Dragon. What do you want? They go to the end?
That's my guess.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to have to introduce the end eventually, which is sort of like a space-like dimension where there's just a lot of little islands, and that's where the Endermen come from, but they also come into the overworld sometimes. So they did mention the Endermen. So, of course, the end, I'm assuming, will... Yeah, and I'm assuming they'll make a sequel based on how successful it is. Again, it doubled their expectations. They thought it would make like 75 million, 80 million opening weekend. It made 150 plus. So
the sequel's guaranteed, basically.
I would say so, yeah.
If the second weekend holds, it's 100%. Yeah.
And again, biggest video game opening weekend of all time.
Yeah, so if it just holds for another weekend, it's going to make $1 billion, and we're getting Minecraft too. Where you can say the Ender Dragon.
Bigger than Sonic, any of the Sonics, bigger than Super Mario Brothers movie.
In Endgame, when you hear like on your left or like I knew it and like like all the those
Assemble.
are payoffs. Yes,
Yeah.
because they have paid off from the movies. When you're cheering at that level, when it's just a big fat guy saying what his name is, that is. I think brain rot's the only word for it.
It is.
And I don't find this movie offensive. I found it
Yeah.
to be quite interesting and silly and weird and funny and charming when it wanted to be. But I agree with Mike that there is a lot of very polluted DNA mixed into this as far as like story and branding and like whatever sort of like narrative department where they're like, well, you have to have a thing and they need to find the thing and it needs to be all about that thing. And
Right. Well, it's like the most generic plot, like Jumanji-like plot that they can imagine. But again, it's this weird mix of heartfelt and ironic, where it's like that's kind of what Gen Z is. Like they have genuine love for something, but also partly it's ironic. I think that kind of captures the vibe of this generation. So it makes sense. All the meme lines are also like in the trailers. So they already heard all these lines. Like they heard I am Steve, chicken jockey from the trailers. So there's kind of the meme is that like, oh, I recognize that from the trailer or whatever, right?
And then they're potentially premeditating throwing popcorn when that moment happens. Right.
Yeah, I think that got like the first reactions, people are like, we gotta one up this, we gotta go fucking crazy and throw popcorn in the air and stuff. And I don't like that aspect again, let's be respectful to like, the theater employees and stuff. Like, come on, but someone's gotta take it too far.
Of course. Police were called.
But let me just ask you this. How much do you think the Mario Brothers movie made opening weekend?
So this is the biggest of all time, and you said this is 150 for a video game?
Yeah. And Mario Brothers is the second biggest ever opening weekend domestically. How much do you think it made?
Gotta be like 130.
120?
92. Maybe? 92.
No.
So this kind of blew it out of the water. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's made 80 million. Sonic 2 made 72 million. Sonic 3 made 60 million opening weekend.
So I don't really want sequels to any of those movies.
You don't want Sonic 4?
I think 3 is enough.
Yeah.
I still have not seen Sonic 3, by the way. I've seen the first two. Still have not seen 3. But again, this is my Sonic.
Treat yourself.
And I think that's 60%... because I have more nostalgia for Minecraft than for Sonic.
And you keep saying that this is more realistic than The Last of Us.
Yeah. But it has zombies.
Yeah.
Fair. 60% more money opening weekend than Mario. So it's greenlit already. It's
Ellie,
they got
Ellie,
6 more writers.
I told you to look out for those damn chicken jockeys, girl.
I believe worldwide, Mario Brothers made more worldwide than Minecraft. Minecraft still made 300 million worldwide opening weekend, but I think Mario just had more like China and Asian markets and stuff. Fucking probably love Mario, but
Minecraft is global. Who knows?
Yeah,
like, how much legs it's gonna have.
Well, that Italian plumber is very big in Japan, Jacob.
Yes.
Where he's from.
Mamma mia.
We've got the Switch 2 coming out soon, by the way. Speaking of video game news. And we've got, speaking of Last of Us Season 2 coming out very, very soon. So we've got more video game media content coming down the pipe.
Yeah, and Netflix has the Devil May Cry anime fired up, which maybe we'll get talked about next week.
We're going to talk about all this because, am I right, Jacob? Is our next episode a whatcha?
100%.
Yes, I believe we'll be doing, 340, 350?
340.
And we'll do about an hour or an hour and a half on the Switch too, right?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a whole conference.
Sure. Well, it's going to cost about $600 million with Trump tariffs. So I'm looking forward. Yeah.
We're all going to be like Jason Momoa looking for diamonds. And if
that's right.
Minecraft
I wish I could take some diamonds back.
Hold on, that storage locker has a Switch too?
Yeah.
Those are super rare in America.
I can barely afford it, but okay.
If he has a stash of diamonds, they should really be laundering. Like, go to the Minecraft world and just get rich. That's what the second movie should be.
That's what Jason Momoa wants to do, right? But then he learns
they should do that.
Friendship is more important.
No, get the diamonds out of there.
Final thoughts on Minecraft for me, again, was not expecting anything because I thought the trailers looked terrible. I was like very cynical about it. As a Minecraft fan, I was like, this is not my Minecraft. Like, this doesn't look good at all. Jennifer Coolidge doing weird stuff with a villager. I don't know.
Right.
But it was a lot better than I expected. Obviously, it's not a perfect movie. I think it's barely even counts as a movie, I would say. It's more a collection of scenes and jokes and references to Minecraft, with a very bare bones plot holding it all together. But it did
If
have
you
some real
saw
heart.
this in 4D, this would be an
Oh man.
awesome theme park ride.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a ride.
If it was just Jack Black coming out being like, "I'm Steve," you'd be like, "This is written so well for a theme park ride."
Right. Yeah, if I was at Universal or something and there was the
Yeah.
Minecraft experience 4DX. Again, I mean, Minecraft is a bigger IP than I even realized. Again, it's the best-selling video game of all time, but I did not expect it to have sort of the longevity that it's had, in that kids today, 12-year-olds buying creeper hoodies and things.
I can't. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got that lasting power. And it's so weird for Minecraft that, like, obviously Mario as an IP, is people love the character of Mario. Sonic, people love the character of Sonic. Minecraft does not really have a character like that. They have Steve, who's just a very generic player character, but now I guess he's Jack Black, so people love Steve.
What's the aesthetic? I mean, it's the look.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction, because this whole movie was basically saying, look at that thing from that thing you love. It wasn't about Mario or Sonic. It says, here's the world you love. We did our best to make it actual, you know?
Here's my final thoughts. I knew this was going to be a wild one, because typically when it's one of these episodes where we all watch something, there'll be some kind of indicative text of like, whoa, can't wait to blah, 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 talk about this whenever. Radio silence for the weekend days that we all saw. I didn't want to tip my hand. All I could think was, a storm is brewing was all I could think.
Yeah.
Right.
I was very excited to see what you guys thought of it. And I was like, are we going to have a Beetlejuice 2 situation? Are we going to have, what's going to happen? But I think we all enjoyed it, even though it's not going to win an Oscar anytime soon.
Here's the thing. You enjoyed it. Mike and I ate the lava chicken a little too quick. So we're being burnt up in the face, but you're like, ooh, that succulent, locked in lava flavor.
No problem, bro. But when a Minecraft movie 2 comes out, you're going to want to see it.
That's right.
I need to know what to do with Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to have to know.
I mean, Colin, you're going to look on YouTube right after this episode ends for
that
post-credit scene.
Probably. Yeah. That's my sickness.
I want also just a version of this movie where there's no Minecraft world. They reshoot the entire middle, and it's just the story of surviving in the small town after you screw up the chip factory. I was invested in that too.
I was into Elemente's story.
Yeah. Yeah. How do they fix the factory, and does she keep her job? Yeah. What did the mother say?
Into that part of the movie.
I'm in a horrible debt. I'm still laughing.
Give me the Gen Z movie. Yeah, I'm in horrible debt and I have no upwards mobility.
I had a divorce. A horrible divorce.
I'm going to stay at the White Lotus.
Hey.
Have you seen my son Stifler?
Hey, aren't you roommates with Mike White from the White Lotus in the School of Rock, Jack Black?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
It's all tied together.
What a weird little small world we live in. Wow.
Small town, small world.
And then meanwhile, somebody's just going, Yeah,
I guess I wasn't expecting the villager.
Little dog makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he wandered out of that portal, I was like, oh, geez, I had not even considered this. And it did end up being very silly.
We won't talk about the dark anti-Semitic connotations of the villagers. Again, created by a far-right guy who went down the far-right pipeline online. So,
geez.
A billionaire. Important to point out.
Big nose looking villager guys. You can kind of connect the dots there. On that note, yeah, we love Minecraft. Notch, who's that? We don't know who that is.
No, who's that?
He's not part of this anymore.
He's a nitwit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
more fun. But I mean, dare I say? Yeah. I was ready to kind of tear this movie down, but you know what? It has the. hearing about the
I was
attention
as
to
well.
detail to the IP, that they actually did their homework. That's
That's the thing, is
holding it
there's
up for me.
clearly some love for the game
Yeah.
in this
Yes.
movie, and getting someone like Jared Hess, who has such a style to it, like they could have got they could have got a Sean Levy to make this movie, and it would have been way more generic and uninteresting.
You want to
right?
pitch Wes Anderson the Kool-Aid movie, Jacob? You're done. You're done in this town.
Right.
Right.
It is.
We
Yeah.
need a
like,
Nicholas Stoller type to do the Minecraft movie, Jacob.
Yeah.
I gotta
okay?
gotta fire
the
Martin Scorsese
studio.
off of the
maybe- I'm
Minecraft
sure
movie.
we'll talk about that next week, but it's so much true to life that it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's kind of what
It
Hollywood is now. It's like, can we take this IP and inject some kind of creativity and art and passion into it? And can we have it both? Can it be a huge hit and also and also like critically successful?
Yeah,
I don't
who
know.
knows?
I don't know.
We'll
That's
wait
Hollywood.
till the Hot Wheels movie comes out. I'm sure we'll have an answer.
Yeah.
Well,
Tetris movie.
But yeah,
normies, we
Jenga.
hope you use a magic potion or throw an Ender's Eye. What the hell are all these
Ender
things
Pearl.
called? Like,
Ender
and that's
Pearl.
my last one. No biggie.
Yeah.
right? To
Just
get
almost
to
died
us,
fighting an Enderman for it.
get your thoughts to us and say what you thought of the Minecraft movie. I've already said final thoughts, but just to sum up my feelings again, I'm never going to recommend anyone to see this film, but I will be ecstatic to talk to someone who has seen it about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I would
for
recommend
that
it to everybody to see.
you
it.
shouldn't. But let us know if you do. Hit us up at normies_like_us, where you can say, oh, I loved when they said, my name's Steve, and my brother's a chicken jockey. It was so true to our lives. We'd love to hear that. And check us out at YouTube as well, where you can watch along.
That's right. And get ready for next week, where we'll be watching and talking about what we've been watching, what we've been playing in recent times.
Yeah, we'll go back over what our new long form series is. We announced that in our last one. We'll talk about some other episodes we got coming up. Jacob listed off a bunch of good stuff we'll probably be talking about. I'm sure we'll pick one of those for a future episode. So tune in to find out on that next one.
Yes. This is a podcast episode.
All right. First we mine, then we craft, then we Minecraft.
Wait, what did you say?
We do Minecraft?
Did you say Minecraft? Oh, we should have said. Oh, there's no time.
That's great.
No time. No, first we pod, then we cast, then we podcast. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, man.
And this has been your host. This is Villager Colin.
Chicken Mikey.
And this is Chicken Jakey.
Okay.
Flint and steel.
Flint that steel.
Diamond armor. Four-fifths of a set.
That's right.
3/4 of a set. All
Till
right.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.